Ladies and gentlemen, that time is here. A brand new Irish Drift Championship season is about to kick off today, where the focus is on the Pro-Am class. We are here in Mondello Park, the fastest entry speeds of the whole year, over 75 miles an hour on initiation. As you can see, this is one of the most difficult corners, especially when you see it from this angle. It is downhill, off camber, full throttle, and that's what the judges are expecting. Today, as we mentioned, the attention going to the Pro-Am class, which has becoming a little bit more competitive than many other Pro-Am classes in the whole world. Very, very tough class. We've got over 60 drivers going for 32 places in qualification today, and it's going to be tough. However, we have a beautiful day here in Mondello Park. The weather is perfect. Grip levels on the track are very, very high, and the drivers are feeling confident. Practice yesterday, no issues, no crashes, no mechanical breakdowns, meaning everybody's gunning and ready to go when we go live for our qualifying session today. Now, here's another story coming through from the pits. It's the old versus the new. A lot of guys in that Pro-Am class who've been aiming for those pro licenses. Remember, the top 5 getting Pro-Am license or pro licenses at the end of the year. They're going to be joined by these guys, a lot of them from the Irish Amateur Drift Championship. As you can see there, some cars running over 1,000 horsepower in the Pro-Am class. You see Shay Rogers there. He is in the Pro-Am class last year, a couple of mechanical failures, but looking very, very strong. Expect him to be in the mix. Graham Holden coming through in the top 5 places from the Amateur Championship. He's going to be looking to take some names in his first ever Pro-Am debut. Now, as we move along here, this is one of those areas where everything goes right or wrong. Very rarely on the live stream for you guys watching or from the grandstand, you're not going to see this angle. This initiation is the most difficult of the year, simply because of the view that you get here. As you can see, you can't actually see anything past that corner. It's downhill, it's off camber. Very, very difficult for these guys to get it right every time. And it's a full commitment zone. Judges saying these cones, as you can see them here, are your initiation markers. 3, 2, and 1. They want guys initiating as early as possible and then full throttle from that last cone on. We'll see how these guys got on. As you can see, it's a flick it up the corner, full initiation, full in, and full power all the way through clip 1, 2, and 3. That's where the course tightens up and we, of course, send those guys down towards those concrete walls towards the end of the track. But it is a very, very difficult circuit, especially for the Pro-Am class. But with, as I said, grip levels perfect. These guys have been dialing it in the same conditions now for essentially 2 days. That means that they're going to be very confident. We're going to see a very, very hot and heavy qualifying session. And our judges, Kieran Hines, Kevin O'Connell, and Dan Moorhead, are going to have a tough time separating these guys as we make it through that qualifying session. Well, what else is going on today? Well, we're starting to see the first of the new classes in Rallycross. We're, of course, sharing this event with the Irish Rallycross Championship, 2 of the most extreme motorsports in the world, going head-to-head this weekend. And, of course, the Pro-Ams are on track for us, and they're also going to be the lower classes for the Rallycross taking place today as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how both of those motorsports affect the other. Will there be grit and gravel and dust from one hitting the other? Who knows? A lot of contingencies in plan this day, for all of that to happen later in the day, but it's getting loud down here as these guys are pushing extremely hard. Pro-Am class, we've seen what an incredible turnout. All of these cars looking like the pro grid from 3 or 4 years ago. The power, the presentation, the professionalism, the teams behind them in the paddock have been insane. And we're just going a little bit behind the scenes before we go live to show you guys what the tension is like down here at the start line. As I try not to fall, we're going to go up to the start line, have a look at in the visor, see what the nerves are like. Remember, these guys spend probably 6 months building these cars, making sure everything is dialed in. Every penny they have has gone into it, every late night has gone into it. But when it comes to qualifying, you've only got 2 50-second runs to get yourself in the show. And remember, half of our drivers today will not be making it into that show. And that's where it gets interesting. The pressure of drifting, where it's so different than any other motorsport. Another motorsport, you might make a mistake in a corner or go off the track. You've got a couple of laps to get yourself back into the mix. Here, get it wrong, and you're going home. As you can see here, we have some returning drivers who've been out of the class for a while, including Keith O'Shea. And as I said, a lot of mix. This is the one thing that's made it interesting for us. There's such a mix of experience. Some guys 7, 8 years in the Pro-Am class. Other guys here at their very first event. That's going to make a big difference as we come towards, I think, the battle action later on. Those guys from the Irish Amateur Drift Championship have already done 4 rounds in the off-season, and they've done a lot of battling. The rest of the guys coming back to the grid haven't done a whole lot in the last couple of months. As you can see, ready to let guys off the start line. Let's see how that start line chicane is working. I'm going to go over here and have a word with Keane Droney, our man who'll be setting all of our cars off this weekend. As you can see, this is the view from the start line he's got all weekend. Guys all ready to go on the start line, looking very, very comfortable out there. Neil Dunn newly rebuilt car for this year, looking very, very comfortable. And Shane Reedy, a couple of guys from the Irish Amateur Drift Championship. So a lot of these drivers will not have faced off against each other before, which I think is going to make things very, very interesting for the rest of the weekend. As you can see, this grid, this doesn't look like a Pro-Am grid. All high-powered Japanese imports with 1Js, 2Js, and SR20s. But right here is a man that we think might be one of the favorites this weekend. Lee Scott wowed it all at BDC a couple of weeks ago, was unstoppable. And he is going through to his first IDC Pro-Am in this new car with the RB25. Expect him to be one to watch this weekend. Guys like Kenny Mulligan, they've come from, you know, a couple of rounds where they haven't had such a good luck. They start from 0 today on the scoreboard. That's very important too. Remember, your confidence can drop a little bit through the season if you know you're not chasing those championship positions. However, if you start from scratch again, you come in with that confidence in the first round, knowing if you get this one right, you're right in the mix for the rest of the season. So from that perspective, I think these guys are going to be pushing hard right from the start of qualifying. Graham Holden, definitely one to watch from the Irish Amateur Drift Championship. Guys like David Dunn, Alan O'Neill, they've been in this game for a little while now, looking for a strong start to the season. You can feel the tension, you can feel the nerves. It's the start of an IDC season. We always have this little bit of nervousness before that first round, but we're going to see how these guys get on in qualifying. From my perspective, we're going back up to the tower. I'll be joining Ian there in a moment, where we are going to go live for our first qualifying session of a brand new Irish Drift Championship, brought to you by Link Engine Management. If you're watching right now, make sure you hit that share button, get it out there to as many people as possible, support all these up and coming guys from the Irish scene. I'm going to go out there and say this could be the most difficult Pro-Am championship in the world to do well at, and these guys are going to show you exactly that for the next couple of hours. Until then, I'm going to the tower. We're ready to kick this thing off. We'll see you guys soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is a brand new Irish Drift Championship season, and I'm joined here in the tower by Ian Waddington. Ian, nerves, tension, scores reset to 0. We are kicking off the biggest season of the Irish Drift Championship ever. 6 rounds, never been done before. 6 brand new events, craziness from start to finish. But it all kicks off here at Mondello Park, essentially where I think a lot of these heroes can be made. This is that hunting ground everybody comes to. You kick that season off right here, especially in the Pro-Am class. You get yourself in that championship hunt. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. And like you say, David, this is where it begins for a lot of these Pro-Am drivers now. This is the foundation for a good season.
It is, and we've got an incredible track. This is, I think, the best layout we have here in Mondello. And for me, look, I've watched this for a lot of years. I have never seen such hungry practice like we saw yesterday. They weren't in the gravel, they weren't in the grass, they weren't in the walls. They were killing it start to finish, from the bottom of Pro-Am all the way to the last year's champion in Pro. Everybody was on it, well prepared, cars working, more horsepower, more grip. I'm excited to see what goes down today. But before we see what goes down today, we got to find out what that track is. So what we're going to do is hand you over to our judging team, Kieran Hines, Kevin O'Connell, and Dan Moorhead. Kevin is going to explain to us exactly what they're going to be doing on this track today and how they're going to score that perfect 100.
Thanks, Dave. So starting off from the start line, we want the drivers to accelerate up as hard as they possibly can up until the initiation of the first corner. We want to initiation to the first corner is open. Handbrake, clutch kick or feint entry, but clutch kick or feint entry will score higher. Then back of the car sliding through clipping point 1, front of the car through clipping point 2, and then the most crucial part of the track is clipping point 3. Nice smooth transition back onto clipping point 4, running a nice out wide line around the Link ECU corner, up until they come up to clipping point 5. Then we want the drivers to pull away from clipping point 5 nice and early. A nice smooth transition back onto clipping point 6 in front of us here in the judging tower. And then a nice smooth transition again back onto the wall at clipping point 7. We want him to run a nice outside line all the way from 7 to 8, rubbing the wall again then on clipping point 8, and then back out to clipping point 9 and finishing over the finish line.
Well, there you have it from Kevin O'Connell. It looks like we have a grid full of drivers ready to go. That means for the first time in the Link Engine Management Irish Drift Championship, we are going to the start line to kick off qualifying. Just before we do, we're going to have a little look through the qualifying criteria. So if you're new to watching drifting and you haven't watched it before, we're going to explain to you exactly what's going to happen. As you can see here, these are the rules. This is what they got to follow. So each driver will complete 2 non-consecutive scored runs. The highest score after both runs will count as a driver's final score. Each run is scored out of a maximum of 100 by our 3 judges. The average score from all 3 judges will count as a driver's run score. Drivers will be deducted points for momentary loss of drift, understeer, incorrect line, or dropping 1 to 3 wheels off the designated circuit. Significant contact with a wall is also going to deduct you points. Drivers will be rewarded for extreme entries, increased speed, fluidity, snappy transitions, correct judging line, precision, proximity to the outer clipping zones, which are the 2 concrete walls on the track. And drivers will, of course, score a big fat 0 for complete loss of drift, spinning out, dropping 4 wheels off the track, extreme understeer, or driving a section of the course. So it looks like we're ready to go to the start line for our first run. One, two. So here we go. Our first run is ready to rock and roll, and it will be Dean Crozier. Dean Crozier takes to his first run on the track. Ian, he'll give us a good run through of what's going on in it. A guy coming in very hot this year. You can see running through those outer 2 zones. That's clipping zone 3, one of the most important with the judges. Then it's that wide line right out to that edge of the circuit on Link ECU corner. Keep the foot to the floor. Drivers stay about a third of the way out of the track there. Then it's a transition back towards the 2 walls. And then it's the last wall, full throttle, take that outside arc and across the finish line. Great run there from Dean Crozier.
Yeah, very, very good run there for Dean Crozier, and a good, a benchmark to set for the rest of the drivers on the grid. Like you say, David, a guy looking very, very hungry.
Yeah, let's see what score Dean Crozier puts up on the board for his first run. So let's see, we wait for the score for Dean Crozier to drop in from our judges. And it'll come up on the screens. We've got a new graphic system this year. It makes it very visual for you guys at home also, but here we'll let you know exactly what the scores are in Mondello. And to be honest, Mondello is the place to be. There you go. It is a run of 70.3. 70.3 for Dean Crozier on his first run. And Mondello Park, definitely the place to be, though, in the flesh today. The sunshine is just beautiful here.
I have never seen a day like this at Mondello Park. It couldn't be a better weekend to kick off the season. Not a cloud in the sky right now as we go to the line day for Andy Keys.
Yeah, coming through from the Irish Amateur Drift Championship. He has been wowing us all in the off-season, and he's got a hell of a lot of talent for a guy that's just in the sport a little while. Yeah. And look at that line already.
Absolutely nailing that line through clipping point 2 and 3, David. A nice wide line on that Link ECU corner. Keeps the foot in it nice and wide as he transitions onto 6. Gets there a little early, but doesn't affect his line too much now. Nice and deep again on that outer zone. And a good, a very, very good run for the young lad from, I can't even say it, Dave.
Lisballo. Even I can't say that one. I'm not too sure where that is. 340 horsepower SR20. He's built a drift car from scratch himself. I'm picking him as one of my guys from the IADC. He's one of the guys that's come through from the IADC, and he's been very impressive on the off-season. And that, to me, look at that. First run out in the big show, 67.3. Not bad at all.
No, not bad at all. And you know what, Dave? Something I've noticed, these IADC drivers are absolutely hungry. They're here to prove a point. They're not messing around. New season, like you say, and these guys are ready for it. Up on the line, Terence Furry, all the way from Donegal.
Yeah, so next up we have Terence Furry. This is a brand new car for him this weekend. Took a year off to build this car, and it is a hell of a beast. 550 horsepower, forged RB25, representing trailerstuff.ie and Thomas Transport. He's from Donegal, right at the top of the country, and that thing can go.
Yeah, that thing can go. Look at this. So far from Terence, nice wall run there, nice and personal with clipping point 7, and again with a very, very tidy run there from Terence Furry.
Yeah, great run there from Terence Furry, looking really, really good on his first run. And he was one of the guys from last year's Irish Amateur Drift Championship that we expected to come into the Pro-Am last year and make a splash. Stepped away, he was in an M3, came back in this monster. And I think he's put in a huge score here on his first run.
Yep, so judges just applauding Terence there for that run. Very, very impressive. 550 horsepower underneath the one of that forged RB25.
Let's see how he gets on. I mean, from my perspective, he's He again was another driver, very good chase driver too. We're going to see a lot of these guys start to shine when we get to the battles later on.
Yeah.
Of course, that is when it gets really exciting, when we start whittling down 32 drivers down to that winner on the MTech Brakes podium. And let's see what score drops in for Terence Fury on his first run.
So as you can see, nice.
So next score up is going to be, our next driver up is Thomas Fitzgibbon.
Oh, what a big entry from Fitzgibbon as he fires it in. Can he hold it? Oh, unfortunately, a spin there.
No.
So that will be a 0 for Thomas Fitzgibbon, unfortunately. The self-employed marquee.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Apologies, Ian, having a little bit of trouble with my headset here at the moment. I think I'm too loud for my headset.
Too loud for your own headset. So a 0 there for Thomas Fitzgibbon.
Yeah, a little bit of a spin.
Yeah, I mean,
overcooked it on the way in.
I mean, full commitment for the initiation.
Absolutely.
Running that 3-2-1 cone system again on initiation. But unfortunately, a little bit too hot.
Yeah, and the thing is, that first corner, if you don't get it right, Ian, you're going to have, you just can't get it. You can't get it back. Because once you go in too much aggression, put on too much angle, the whole course won't flow from that point on. And as you can see, Thomas just coming in a little too hot. And when you get that wash, it's very easy on the live stream to think this is just a regular corner, but it's actually downhill off camber. So when you get it wrong, it actually pushes you further out because, of course, you got to be full throttle on the right line, or you'll just wash straight out to the grass. Or, as Thomas did, you have to kind of bail out of it and just put the power down to make sure you don't go into the barriers. So unfortunate first run for him, but again, he's a veteran of the Pro-Am class. I'm sure he's going to shake himself off and come back even stronger for the second one.
So we're just waiting to get our new scoring system, just still getting its.
Yeah, look, it's a brand new system we're using this year just to make things a little bit more visual for everyone to be able to tell the scores. And obviously, it's a computer-based system which actually accumulates the stats as well. So as we go through the season, we'll be able to tell the percentage rates and who's won what. But at the moment, we're just working the bugs out. And of course, these systems are built specifically for the weekend. So again, all of the stuff you see here at Mondello is just put in for this weekend. So as we always start on Pro-Am Saturday, we've got a couple of bugs to work out, and we work them out as we go through the day. So just taking a moment to make sure all of that is working correctly.
So while we wait to get our scoring system online, could we have a quick mention to our sponsors? And rightly so, Link ECU, the title part of the Irish Drift Championship, and the world's leading standalone ECU Mobile 1, the world's leading synthetic motor oil. Don't forget, obviously, competitions running all year in the Irish Drift Championship for you to win a spin in the newly branded Mobile 1 Mustang.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to drive.
Yeah,
we're getting some passenger spins. We were scaring some people yesterday. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, the strange thing is the first time I've actually ever driven this layout, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. A big fast entry, that switch back to Mobile 1 where you're throwing the anchor out the window to try and not go in the gravel, and then those really technical walls at the end. It's a lot of fun to drive, and I think it almost demands everything from a driver. You need the precision to the walls, you need that high speed entry. You've got that, in qualifying we're allowing that flick entry or the weight transfer, the clutch kick. All of that stuff for me essentially brings everything you want from drifting into one. You've got a huge fast first corner, big slowing area for the dive and twin battles, and then you've got those technical wall runs which everyone wants to see.
Exactly.
Even though they're not super dangerous, they do test the driver's precision to know where the rear end of the car is. So I think as we get along through the weekend here, I think these guys are going to start pushing extremely hard. We were talking about it this morning in the driver's briefing. We assume at this stage this is one of the most difficult Pro-Am competitions in the world, and when half of the guys don't make it through to the battles, it would seem they get disheartened or they feel like they're not up to the standard, but the scores are so high now in Pro-Am. It's almost as difficult as Pro to get into that battle grid, and I'm excited to see how it develops over the year. Loving the fact that there's 25 new guys coming in from the Irish Amateur Drift Championship. Loving the fact that 11 Pro-Ams have got up to Pro, so they're going to shake things up tomorrow. It's the biggest Pro grid in the history of IDC tomorrow, including our international event. So there's a lot of Irish guys out there and a lot of young guys out there to make their name tomorrow, trying to take down the big dogs who have been dominating for the last couple of years. So I think we're going to get some stories out of this weekend that generally you don't get.
Yeah.
You know, the predictability starts to etch itself in, but I definitely think the man to watch today will be Lee Scott based on his performance in the British Drift Championship. But again, anything can happen, and we have a long day ahead of us of figuring out who's going to take that top spot in the Pro-Am on the M-Tech Brakes podium. So from my perspective, essentially, we're just going to allow our technical guys in the background to make sure everything is running 100%, and we'll get back into the action as soon as possible. We apologize for the small delay. So looks like the track is clear and we are ready to go with our next run onto the Starline, and this is a pretty cool car. This is Paul Stryker's Corolla, crazy anime graphics on the side. He's a farmer from Kerry. He's been drifting for 10 years now, one of the craziest drivers on the grid. This guy in Twin Bells is almost a liability to his own health, a liability to everybody here, but he drives like hell. But missing a couple of clipping zones, coming a little bit tight on mobile, not where the judges want him to be exactly.
No, I mean, looked like he left initiation a little bit too late for me, Dave, and it just kind of upset his line through the first corner. As you say, he got into that Link ECU corner, just kind of got on the wrong line. Pulled it together for the end of the run. It's going to be a score on the board, but definitely more from Paul Stryker.
With Paul Stryker, we generally see, you know, not the greatest technical qualifying runs, but when he gets to the twin battles, that's where his chaseability and his sort of do-or-die attitude can really, really pay dividend. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see later today, if he can get there, because there was a couple of clips missed on that run.
Yeah, exactly, and a stacked grid, you know, a stacked grid of hungry drivers. Everyone want to make their mark on the first round of the championship.
There we have a score. Paul Stryker, 52.7 for Paul Stryker. Not the perfect start, but as you can see from our judges, there is you know, a little bit of work to do for Paul. Missing a couple of clipping zones. Next up, we got Shane Mackin, mechanic at Tara Mines, County Meath, representing TireHanger.ie, THComponents.ie, and the Chaos 13 coming in hot.
Yeah, big entry from Mackin there as he fires it in nice on clipping point 2. Got that good line, Dave, as he scrubs that speed in that deacceleration zone. Oh, but you know what? Gets on the power too early as he comes into that Link ECU corner and sacrifices clipping point 5. Starts to pull it back now and tidies it up as he runs the wall. And gets it across the line on clipping point 9 there. Tidies it up nicely to Shane Mackin. But that little error as he come into clipping point 4, not looking good. So going to hurt his score massively. So we await for a score from the judges for Shane Mackin. 340 horsepower underneath the bonnet of that. And there we go, a 43.3. So yeah, judges, you know, knocking him down quite a bit there on that mistake on clipping point 4. So we move it back to the line where we do have Ryan Caldwell. Ryan Caldwell now piloting that Quins M Sport S15.
Another man we've been watching very closely for the last year. When he's on it, he's on it.
And you know what? If it wasn't for the technical failure, Dave, at BDC round 1, this guy would have gone all the way to the podium. And look at this from Ryan Caldwell. Huge aggression as he fires it in big speed. As he comes into that Mobile 1 corner, nice and wide. You can really hear him pedaling that car. This is nice from Ryan Caldwell.
Nice wall run from Ryan Caldwell, taking it out nice and wide.
Caldwell getting all the way out to the wall. Very, very good run there from Ryan Caldwell. Absolutely putting clouds in the sky on this brilliant day here at Mondello Park.
He definitely has the power. He definitely has the car when it works. The youngster from Strabane in County Tyrone. You know, 750 horsepower in the Pro-Am class. Where have we all come from 5 years ago? That would have been the most higher-powered Pro car 5 years ago. Now it is just in the Pro-Am class.
It's just a regular thing.
Just like, 750, no problem. Yeah, that's cool. You know,
wow, and there we go, Dave. Look at that.
This 90.3 for Ryan Caldwell as he goes top of qualifying and way up. 90.3, insane.
Yeah, unbelievable and well-deserved there from Ryan Caldwell. We move it along to the line to Dylan Garvey.
Yeah, he is the current Irish Amateur Drift Champion. He won the MixedGarage.com Championship in the off-season. He goes on to the grid, who is also shared by his older brother David Garvey in the team dealt with PS13. So he's coming in here, 18-year-old student, you know, young guy, wanted to make a name for himself, looked pretty unstoppable in the Irish Amateur Drift Championship, very much in the vein of the, you know, the Lee Scotts and the Alan Hines and the Conor Shanahan. So is he the next young guy to step up?
You know what, I think he is, Dave. Watching him in practice the other day, this guy was absolutely flying on Friday. Again today, absolutely killing it. Expecting big things right now from Dylan Garvey. What has he got? The farmer from Kilkenny. SR20, 450 horsepower, eager to get off the line. And there we go. Dylan Garvey off the line for his first qualifying run. A little bit tentative, not the flick that we see him doing earlier in practice, but holding it down so far. Oh,
he shuts it down.
And you know what? Just as he come into clipping point 4, I was going to say there's something not right there.
That is a big blow for Dylan Garvey coming out here. This is a car they've been building over the off-season. Drove his brother's car in the Irish Amateur Drift Championship. Switching into this, said he loves the driving ability of this car, loves how it goes, but it's not going at all at the moment for young Dylan, and that's a 0 on the first run for qualifying for our current Irish Amateur Drift Champion. And the youngster's going to have to go back into the pits and figure that one out, and hopefully not a major issue, but definitely limping away like a wounded lion there. And you know, we were expecting big things, so yeah, we'll move it along the order. On to David Dunn, BMW technician from Carlow. He's an instructor at the Drift Games Experience here in Mondello Park. Also stroked SR20, 450 horsepower. Representing WKD Imports, Reflect Auto Care, Patch Tire Equipment, Tom Lawler Auto Body. Coming in pretty hot here. Seems to be running out of gear a little bit there, just hammering the limiter as he came from clip 3, but the line is pretty good, Ian.
Yeah, got a good line, but like you say, Dave, looks like he's just running out of gear and managed to get back on it nice and deep on clipping point 6. Going to set him up nice for that wall run, and he gets way out wide on that nice line. And a good end to that run there from David Dunn. Not
bad at all. And David Dunn, you know, he's always smiling in the car. Just loves actually
loves
being here.
Yeah.
I think the competition is kind of the bonus. Just being here.
Just being here, drifting. Yes. Yeah.
And he's always smiling. Thumbs up to the crowd there from David Dunn. Let's see where his score drops in. Not technically perfect, but again, we haven't seen Bar Ryan Caldwell, someone come out here and just dominate this course yet. So we're going to see that happen as we progress through the qualifying session, I think.
So as we wait for David Dunn's score to drop in.
There you go, 63 for David Dunn, a 63 for David Dunn, puts him in the 5th position at the moment. You know what, not a bad score.
No.
It's enough for a confidence booster. Next off the line, we have got Ty Clark. He is from County Meath. This is nice to see an F20C Corolla still kicking it in the Pro-Am class. Coming in hot here, has to. And a nice line to the edge of the track as well. Very technical so far.
Yeah.
Slows a little bit, not a lot of angle, but again, not a lot of power. So
yeah, exactly. I mean,
a little straight in there as he came around over one corner. Transitioning back through that outer clipping zone and then trying to get it close to the walls. Does a pretty okay job. Might leave that last one a little bit. And a nice finish to the course there from Ty Clark in that beautiful gold A86. And you know, it's so funny, they were so common in IDC a couple of years ago. Now it's such a novelty to see an A86 out there ripping, and he has 230 horsepower. He used every one of them to get around that course there. This course is getting very grippy with all that semi-slick rubber laid down on the track, so it gets tougher and tougher for these guys in the lower horsepower cars as the weekend moves forward. Ty Clark waits his score from the judges. Where's he going to climb into?
So just waiting for that
just
score
waiting on our judges to get the
Yep.
scores through. Of course, taking a moment just to decide on the scores. Dan, Kieran, and Kevin. And there you have it, a 48.37 position at the moment for Ty Clark. Bit of work to do there, Ian.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of work to do. You know what, nice commitment on the initiation. Like you say, carried that speed, very low horsepower car, so not easy to make it round. And like you say, just come off the 4 a little bit too early, couldn't get that wide line. We move back to the line for Benny.
Sean Watt actually, main trainer
Watt,
missing today. Sean Watt from Antrim, the fabricator. This guy goes in hot. Like, as you can see, full throttle through the whole course. He's done too much. Yeah. Too much angle. I mean, I was just about to say he's all about the big angle.
He's all about big angle.
But it worked against him there. It's an E46 M3 engine under the bonnet, 300 horsepower, and you know what? Has a good little friendly rivalry with Dean Martin, who's moved up into the pro class, but he has to get himself into that qualifying or to the battle section later on. And a spin into clip 4, not exactly the start he wanted to the season. A 0 there, confirmed by the judges.
Yeah, not what he wanted. Looking good in practice as well. Another
he was
guy.
Going well. I think,
very good
you know what? I think he got confident.
Yes.
And he went to go for the big one.
Yeah.
And the big one just worked against him. And a safer one might have been the option. Martin Green is our next driver from Port Leash in his 1JZ S14. Oh, big strain in there. This looks like a borrowed car for Martin Green. Usually driving an S15, so this may be a borrowed car for the weekend. Just to get him through and get him out, and yeah, just struggling a little bit off those clipping zones. Gets nice and close to the wall though as he transitions back towards those last 2 wall runs, and just a little bit
I'm not sure, not comfortable, and that could be the switch to a different car.
Yeah, exactly. He just did, yeah, like he didn't look comfortable, didn't look very confident in it. But you know what? He put down a score, and
you can see just how intense the sunshine is here at the moment. A lot of drivers saying it's actually blinding almost as you're coming through the course.
I've never heard an
we're
IDC
not
driver
complain,
say that.
Ian, because usually it's Baltic here in Mondello Park, and if you're a regular to Mondello Park, you'll know this is the nicest day in the history since it was opened in the 1960s. So we'll take it. We'll be happy with that. But unfortunately, not the happiest of scores for Martin. I think he's going to drop sort of mid-pack with that one. Work to do. So let's see how we scoring here.
oh,
That was for Sean Watt. The 0 went in for Sean Watt just to catch up on the previous run before that. And we still await the score. Then we move on to Ben Galbraith. I'll let you know what Martin Green's score was in a moment. Ben Galbraith is our next driver to go.
yep, the welder fabricator from County Tyrone.
And you know what? He is. This car is 200 horsepower, 328. He's building a monster of an E92 at the moment for the rest of the season, but just didn't have it finished in time for this round. So he says he's going to take one last whip around the track in this little 328. But he was saying, I mean, he was the first man this morning I saw running to our tire machine to put more air in the tires because he said it's very hot, very grippy out there, and it's a struggle for him to get that car on the perfect line. He's got to come in very, very fast and committed. But he's out for fun, put points on the board if he can on round 1 before he moves to his new car for round 2.
Yeah, it looked like a good run. You know what? Like not big impact because no speed, but you know what? A 47 on the board there, Dave.
Yeah, 47 on the board for Ben Galbraith there. A little bit to improve on. Michael Purcell, our next driver, RB20 powered R32. And Michael, as you can see, losing a couple of body panels in practice. He's going pretty hard. And he's looking, you know, he looked very comfortable last year sort of in qualifying sessions, but needed to push a little harder. Let's see if he's going to go for that approach this time around. And yeah, that's a nice entry.
Yeah,
good
very
line
aggressive.
so far. A little bit left brake, and it might have cost him that at the extension of the three.
And it did, Dave. Like exactly what you said. Got on the foot brake a little bit too early, and it sacrificed 7.3. You can hear him really working that car now as he transitions onto 6. Manages to get it back on a tidy line, but
yeah, it's not a bad running. It's just not right to the edge of the circuit.
No, it is careful.
It's very careful.
Very
It's putting the
careful.
score on the board. Yeah, we completely understand that. But at the same time, when you have such a stacked grid, when you have so many guys out there killing the track, I don't think a safe score here is going to be enough to get you through to battles later on. And that's something these guys are going to have to get. 42.7 mid-pack sort of score there. And we're seeing a lot of that now. And they're going to be under big pressure when it comes to the second half of qualifying, because essentially they're going to have to do or die on one run. They don't have an improvement run. They got to jump maybe 20, 30 points. That's going to be tough. Next up, well, it's a BMW. That's not strange, but what is strange is that it's diesel powered.
It's a diesel one. Yeah,
It's a diesel BMW. Running the green diesel. Legally on track here is Kevin Kildare. He's a man who also likes some big angle, and as you can see, throwing that diesel BMW. Oh, and a little bit of a shutdown there. He actually sometimes just changes pumps and wires on this car to get extra 40 or 50 horsepower sometimes. It's a very, I don't want to say agricultural, but it's a home-built car. It's sort of a car he's built himself, and he's looking good out there. He's coming through from the Irish Amateur Drift Championship. This is his first time in the big leagues, so not bad to get around. Again, a couple of clipping points missed in.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it doesn't look like an easy car to drive. Judge is saying just a little bit scrappy, could be a little bit tidier, but for his first ever run here, Dave, I'm sure he's going to be absolutely over the moon with that, and plenty of
room for improvement.
Room for improvement.
Yeah, and you know what? There's always room for improvement.
Exactly.
But from his perspective at the moment, I would say just happy to put that score on the board, and he's got his first score. No, you don't want a 0 on your first.
No, yeah, and he's out there with a 46. He gets into the right position, so he'll be happy with that for the minute. We move it along. David Garvey, the
yes,
29-year-old.
his brother having troubles earlier on and got scoring a 0, but David, he was looking very strong all the way through. Look at this run from David Garvey, right out to the edge of the track, collecting those clipping zones. He sort of had a wishy-washy, if that's the right word, season last year. Some good, some bad, but he is looking very strong here. Through all the clipping zones, maybe not as close to the wall as you would have liked, but for a first conservative, put a point on the board, scored run,
this is a
that
good run.
is as good as you can do, and I think that's going to hit the high 70s, low 80s. That's where I'd be at.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was a judge,
If
and
you was
sometimes
a
I am,
judge.
but not today, thank God. So I think that's probably where he's going to end up there. It was a good run from him.
Yeah, thumb out the window. You know what, like you say, Dave, Garvey last year, moments of brilliantness. It couldn't just string it. It needed to just put them all together in one event, and he couldn't do it.
He had all the pieces of the Lego set, but no instructions.
And look at that, Dave, you're right,
77. for David Garvey, that's a good run. That's a very good run. 77 on the board. Might take the pressure off for a second. And this next car is an absolute monster.
Yes.
2JZ. How much horsepower? Well, let's try 850 horsepower in a four-door JZX. Robin Neeson, the refrigeration engineer from Ballymena, is got one of the. It's almost like, I always say the phrase, like a small man with a big dog. Like he's getting pulled around the track by the horsepower this car has, but doing a good job. Puts that car nice and close to the wall. Lots of smoke, lots of power, and absolutely effortless plumes of smoke from that car.
I mean, look at this. Absolutely filled Mondello Park with smoke. Yeah, a good run there, you know, from Robin Neeson.
Yeah, remember, this is just the Pro-Am class.
Yeah.
This is just the guys at the, at the bottom end of the ladder here in 850 horsepower JZX. It's crazy. Where are the days gone? 40.3, judges saying, yeah, a couple of clipping zones missed, a couple of straightens up, and while it was smoky, yeah, it wasn't technically what the judges were looking for. Now, another man that'll be under big pressure here. He runs the lowest horsepower car in the entire Pro-Am class, 170 horsepower, 323 BMW. He was struggling yesterday to try and get this thing to just move around the track, but does get to clip 3, had to sacrifice clip 2 even though he's and coming in very hot and almost overshoots it a bit, dropping the wheel off the track.
Yeah, managed to keep it on track. Like say Dave, dropped clipping point 2 there, just had to shortcut the circuit to get 3. Manages to put it back together again.
He's driving ability, we watched him all winter, he's amazing.
Yeah.
If the track suits the car, if it's slow, if it's not slow, but if it's sort of a technical track.
Technical, yeah.
The high speed entry here is killing him because the car literally just doesn't have the wheel speed to actually drift through it, so he has to sacrifice one or clip or another. But it's going to hurt his score, but he is building a new car, and another guy that's sort of hoping that there's a score of 30 for him at the moment, and I think even his facial expression in the picture can kind of sum up the run there. It was like, it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
So he'd be happy enough, but for a 323, it's not too bad. Next up, a returning driver for us, David Shore, taking a year off last year, had an SR20 power Corolla in the past, very, very fan favorite for the Pro-Am class. Now back in an S14, 400 horsepower SR. He's having great fun this weekend, but had an issue in practice at the end of it with the car, so said he was just diving in. First weekend out for the car too, so a couple of gremlins there to work out, but looking good so far, making plenty of smoke anyway.
Yeah, just dropped very, very shallow there on Link ECU corner. Couldn't get out to the wall, and again just dropped moving point 8 there, so Judge is going to knock him down a little bit, but like you say, Dave broke that car earlier in practice, managed to get it back out for qualifying. So
it's interesting because it's a fairly standard chassis, but again, it's a brand new car, and coming to this event with a brand new car is not the easiest thing in the world.
I mean, it's a gamble you take. 44 there for.
Yeah, it's sort of, missed a lot of clipping zones, middle of the track, not what the judges want to see. They want to see right to the edge. And here's a very interesting one. If you're a first-time viewer of the Irish Drift Championship, this is a Ford Sierra from a 16-year-old student. However,
whoa!
What an entry from Jordan Boyce as he absolutely fires that Sierra into the first corner. 360 horsepower, 2.2 16-valve Scorpio engine, as you do. And it has a G-Force dog box in that car as well. I mean, it's just a crazy car for the Pro-Am class, but we've seen him hit the podium before. Look at this, running the wall, scraping the back bumper. A little bit of a wobble through clip 2, but the rest of that course very solid for Jordan Boyce.
Unbelievable commitment on that initiation from Jordan Boyce there. Yeah, I mean, 16 years old.
I mean, 16 years of age in a Sierra, which is probably twice the age of him, and it has a G-Force dog box, and it has a hell of a lot of power. I mean, it's got 360 horsepower. It's a light car. There you go, 52 on the board. And that big mistake on the entry, though, we spotted it, missed clip 2 completely. And the biggest points on this on the scoreboard for this run, or for this layout, is from clip 1 to 3. That's where most of it's scored. You want to be your braking done just as you're coming to clip 1, then full throttle from 1 to 2 and 3. That's that first sweeper. Jordan was a little bit offline on that. The rest of it pretty good though, so not a bad score. Next up we have got Paul Kennedy. I'm going to say something out loud that I shouldn't normally say. I was saying yesterday that I think he will top qualifying in Pro-Am if he kept driving like he was yesterday. He can't hear me now, so he can't put off by me putting his confidence in. But Paul Kennedy, the project manager from Longford, was on it yesterday. 320 horsepower, Z-Tex tires, M3. Look at the entry. Too wide, a little bit, just a little bit too wide. I jinxed him. Not a very, very good first corner for Paul Kennedy. Missing more clipping zones that he's getting here. And it's just so surprising to me. He looked so good yesterday. Maybe made a change, put a little bit more grip in the car. Maybe it's the pressuring that happens to a lot of drivers too.
Yeah, I mean, you sit on that start line, Dave, and you know you've got a stacked grid behind you and people that are desperately trying to get inside top 32. But like you say, Paul Kennedy yesterday in practice was looking flawless. The car was singing.
But you know what, that bit of pressure, I mean, it's fine. You can do practice runs. It doesn't matter. Yesterday, you're just having fun out there with the guys on track.
Yep.
Today, you know you've got 2 chances to get in the show. You've got a 50% chance to get in the show and to start with.
Yeah.
Then you got him 2 50-second runs to get in the show, mess it up. Yeah, 31.7, not what we expect from Paul Kenny. I'm still holding out for the second one. I'm still holding out for the second one. Trevor McInerney, our next driver, the mechanic from Clare, 600 horsepower. His figures are insane. 2 JZ forged engine, plenty of power. Plenty of ability to look at the speed of that entry.
Unbelievable. Paul McInerney dropping clipping point 3 there. Good transition, but scrub speed in the wrong area. And yeah, look at this, he's way down the line on that link ECU corner. Manages to now start to pull it back online, but it's messy from McInerney. Like you say, Dave, 600 horsepower, 2 JZ forged engine, the mechanic from Clare, representing DE Autos.
And he disappears inside the car. Look, you can't see where he is. He just drove off the track. There you go. And it happens again.
Too
much smoke in the car. And then he just said, on my left, to the right, got on the radio to the spotter and just said, not about the run, but do you know where I am?
Do you know where I am?
Do you know where I am on the track? 34.3, so yeah, too much smoke in the car. And he almost goes in the gravel. If he did, we could point and laugh.
Yeah.
Because he just crashed at 4 miles an hour into the woods. There we go. Next driver up, a man to watch. Another pick of mine from the Irish Amateur Drift Championship, Graham Holden, the machine driver from Waterford, 500 horsepower. Look at the speed of that entry, bang, on those first 2 flipping zones. Graham Holden struggled at times with this new car during the Irish Amateur Drift Championship with some mechanical gremlins, but when he's on it, he is on it. And right now you see plenty of smoke, plenty of speed through the course. How close are you going to go to those walls? That's how close.
Very good there from Graham Holden. Absolutely technically perfect.
Wow. What a first run from Graham Holden. First ever Irish Drift Championship Pro-Am event, and that's how you say, sorry?
I'm here.
You remember my name? Graham Holden. I'm going to be here for a while.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what he's saying. Nice run. Let's see what the scores come in from the judges. That was a solid run.
That was a very good run.
63.7. Missing the outer zone a little bit on the far side of the track, but I love a wall run. You know, I'm a sucker for a wall run.
Another guy looking strong, Dave, the 14-year-old student from Antrim.
Yeah, he's 14 years of age, so he's old enough now for this class at this stage. 340 horsepower, E46 M3 engine. He's 14 years of age, and look at the line he's just pulled through that first corner. First ever IDC Pro-Am event, and Harry Kerr came to play.
Yeah, look at that line through Link ECU. Absolutely been killing it all day in practice. Look how deep he is on 6. Gets nice and close to the wall through 7. And again, listen to him pedaling that M3 powered E46. Absolutely killing it.
He's so depressing that he's 14 years of age. You know, we thought, oh, you know, Conor Shannon, these guys, they're all just anomalies. No, it's now the norm.
Now it's not the norm.
At 14 years of age. Guys, give him a round of applause. Harry Kerr, 14 years of age as he comes in front of you. That's a hell of a run. 76.7 on your first ever IDC Pro-Am run when you're 14 years of age. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Here we go. This guy I was picking out of the Irish Amateur Drift Championship is one of the best chase drivers I've seen out there. Lee McFadden, very aggressive at chase driving, but looking good here in the first half of this one too. Maybe not as wide as the judges would have wanted there in clip 3. That's a safe line there, Ian. The judges do kind of put you down for it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Dave, like you say, Dave, this guy's chase driving is absolutely phenomenal, so we expect big things later on in the top 32 battles, but looking good now as he tidies it up for the rest of this run. Big clutch kick as he gets to the wall for 8.
My opinion of Harry, like Harry Kerr has come out there and done. It's very hard to follow that run. It's a very good run. But Lee McFadden for me is like take all the difficult parts of drifting, he can do them no problem.
Yeah.
Take the easy parts of drifting and he struggles.
Yeah.
Like he can do amazing chase driving, wall runs, and big flick entries. But the bit of technical in between, sometimes he can get a little wayward. And I think that's what happened there. So once he gets that dialed in, I think he's going to be a real contender here in the Link Engine Manager Pro-Am Championship. Let's see when the scores drop in for Lee McFadden. 59.3, another youngster, 20 years of age. Is he youngster though? Because he's 14. I'm saying 20 is young to me. Getting depressed already. Michael Muckian. Now you want a smoke show, this is what this guy's got to bring. He only runs 700 horsepower this car. Hornby 25. Michael Muckian, farm contractor from South Armagh, representing Bradley Motorsport. Says Timo Tires, Relentless Drift, CM Auto Care. And he says, you know what? He's the man to call him at all your farming needs, but he did a bit of ploughing on the edge of Link Engine Management corner there, and yeah,
Yeah, he just got a little bit lost there. Transition very, very fast at the clipping point 4, and you know what, he's just gone from there. Just couldn't slow the car down enough. Such a shame. It will be a zero from Michael.
From there.
We move it along to a guy who is looking very good today, David.
He is. Neil Dunn is one of the wildest drivers through the first 3 clips, and it's almost scary to watch. But then his problem is slowing down for clip 4. He ends up in the gravel more sometimes, not more often than not, but sometimes. But at the end of practice, he was looking good. Now, I always commentate or curse all of these guys, but Neil Dunn, this thing is flying this weekend. Look at this speed on entry, big angle.
Oh, losing the side skirt, but look at
that
this.
much momentum. He lost the end of the side skirt. Neil Dunn out to the edge of the track. Oh, shuts it down. A little tentative there, not wanting to go on the gravel. Now he's got to keep that car and momentum going. Little clutch kick there, a little bit tentative there. Probably slowed his momentum down a little bit and lost that little bit of flow towards the end, inside of that corner, not quite where the good is wanted to be. So a little bit of room for improvement there as well, Ian. But you know what? A solid run, exciting. He came in and the wind took parts of the car off, which is impressive.
It was the transition into that link ECU corner, just slowing it down too much, kind of upset his whole flow for the rest of the run there.
And the thing is, it's a flow track.
Very
you get
much.
Clip 1, 2, and 3 right, the rest just starts to flow
comes together,
into place.
yeah.
You mess up any little part of it, it's really difficult. Yeah, 63, not a bad run for Neil Dunn, but it's very difficult to get back on the flow.
Yeah.
And that's the way Kieran designs these tracks, that they are sort of an outer lines, flowy track. So get it wrong. I see over next driver can get it right. It's Sam Hamilton, 21-year-old farmer from Armagh, representing Josh Spence Automotive, JSM, M3 engine, 300 horsepower. Interesting going the other way, putting in a BMW M3 engine in a Nissan S14, why not?
But it works well, and he's doing a very, very good run so far. Nice and wide on that link ECU corner. Good transition onto 6. Gets it nice and close on the wall there, losing the back line. And again, just tagging that wall as he takes it across the line.
That's a good run.
That's a very good run.
Very good run from Sam Hamilton there. And you know what I quite like about it is that he doesn't have an accelerator in that car, he just has a switch.
Switch on or off.
He presses it at clip 1 and then he turns it off after the run and goes, full throttle please, and the car does the rest. So no lifting whatsoever throughout that run. Incredible first run from Sam Hamilton. Well, the scores reflected, and he's left his taillight out on the track, but you know, these blanks are getting cheaper. 71, there you go. He's just 21 years of age as well. I mean, I'm going to say he's young too.
He's
right?
young.
We're very old now.
Yeah, we are very old.
And Kieran Hines, in like drift terms, he's 480 because these
like
guys are very young. Here we go. Next up, Francis O'Shea. He is a veteran of the Pro-Am class, looking for that Pro-Am license this year. Look at the entry from Francis O'Shea. Don't hold it back.
Or just sacrificing clipping point 3. They're big use of the handbrake to slow it down for Link ECU.
600 horsepower, 2JZ. Forged Internals, Garage GTX Turbo, G-Force Dog Box, Winter's Quick Change Wisefat. You just build it on Forza Motorsport and there it is on the track. This thing is good to go. Plenty of smoke, but I think the miss of clip 3 is going to hurt a little bit, a couple of waivers throughout the course. Said it's difficult to get the car into the correct gear for the shorter run in here because we're running a little shorter run in than we usually do in Mondello. It's still 70 plus miles an hour, don't get me wrong, but we're a little shorter for the reason of keeping those battles close to sort of eliminate the horsepower war. 59 on the board for Francis O'Shea. Not a bad first run. Again, a little bit of room for improvement. He'll know that himself. Ross Kenny, another veteran of the Pro-Am class, representing MDT. Sistino Tires, Turbos Direct. And Claritulo's Banner Quick Fit, SR20, 450 horsepower. Coming in hot, Ian. Looking good so far. Can he get out there? No, just misses that outer clipping zone 3. That's the key.
Yeah, a lot of drivers doing that. You know, coming in very, very hot. Good line through clipping point 2, but you know, kind of straight line in the circuit there, trying to play it safe maybe, but it's hurting the score massively. Tidies it up, he's going to drop clipping point 8, massively, and 9 again.
Ross Kenny, you know, just a pure lover of drifting. He comes to every round. He was even in the tower with us all the way through Irish Amateur Drift Championship, just watched every run, practice, giving drivers advice on his own time and money. Very selfless guy in the paddock, and we're wishing him a good score here, but I think a couple of mistakes, especially not getting to that clip 3, is going to hurt his score a little bit. The car looks good though.
Car does look
it's
good.
Working, and Ross has had 60.7, not bad at all from Ross Kenny, and you can tell that, you know, guys are getting a little bit more comfortable as time goes on, but he had a huge amount of mechanical failures last year, so that was holding him back. At least the car looks like it's going. Next up is the only rotary engine on the entire grid. It is the 450 horsepower rotary Mazda RX-7 of Alan O'Neill. Mike Fitz, as Alan would say, sold out, went to the 2JZ, but Alan's staying strong with the rotary, and still the only rotary on the grid.
Yeah, looking good early in the track with Alan O'Neill as he fires it in on a very good line earlier.
Yeah,
look at this again.
From Alan O'Neill. Very good line, right to the edge of the circuit. That's good stuff right there. This car was actually driven at Festival of Drift last year by Ryan Turk. Said he loved the car, thought it was a great car to go. So Can Alan, look at that, just got 1 or 2 more clips to get it in play here, and he's put in a very solid score. Clip 1 to 3, very good on this one. So yeah, I can imagine he will be in the higher order there. Very good run from Alan O'Neill, the technician from Cork, representing Skunkworks Garage, Clippers Ireland. 6th year competing in the Irish Drift Championship. Will 6 times be the charm and get him a good score here in qualifying. 75.7, enough for 5th position at the moment for Alan O'Neill. He'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, he'd be very happy with that. Like I say, looking good in practice. Richie Tian on the line, the 29-year-old.
No, we're actually moving on to Kenny Mulligan. We'll forgive you, Ian. You're from the UK.
From the UK.
Kenny Mulligan, 29-year-old mechanic from Meath, 400 horsepower, RB25. Coming in hot. Car looks awesome.
You know what, this guy earlier on, a lot of practice with Lee Scott. These guys going pushing very, very hard, and Kenny Mulligan was looking very strong out front. And this is a good qualifying run so far from Mulligan.
Yeah, get more and more comfortable with the car. Bought the car early last year. Did a couple of rounds of BDC, a couple of rounds of IDC, just getting it dialed in, and it's one of my favourite looking cars on the grid. But unfortunately, we don't have like a button here for like a gold button like in Britain's Got Talent. That we go best looking car, cool. Boom, he qualifies. Does it? Well, maybe we could make one. We could probably make that call, but we're probably gonna
upset a few people.
Yeah, we'll just have it for our own sake. We'll have our own score based on how cool the car looks and how much smoke and wall running we do.
Judges liked it.
Not a bad 71 for Kelly Mulligan. That's a good first run right into the mid-pack. He goes with the higher end actually at the moment. Next up, Niall Whelan returning to the Irish Drift Championship after a year off. The mechanic from Laois running a 450 horsepower SR20 looks amazing. Wearing those Just Jam ABC clutches and Cooler Works colours this year. Struggling a little bit there. Looking like he had a little bit too much grip in the car maybe. He's not putting down some power. Just sounds a little strange. Just sounds like it's almost breaking down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can see the car. Something. It sounds like the infamous boost pipe came off, but let's hope it's nothing more sinister than that. You can get it back out for the second one, but you can hear it breaking down a little bit, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like as soon as he initiated, come on the throttle, it just wasn't right, and it just got worse and worse from there on out. So yeah,
you have a bit more mechanical knowledge than me, just a bit. Well, you are sort of a mechanic.
Sort of a mechanic.
Sort of like a fabricator. So is that a fabricator? Sort of a mechanic.
Sort of a mechanic.
It's sort of. You see enough cars to know.
Do a bit of everything.
Do a bit of everything. Jack of all trades and
master of none.
So let's see if he gets back up next. His teammate though is up next, Keith Barton O'Shea from Laois, representing ABC Clutch, Cooler Works, Just Jam, Sticker Business, and Westlake Tires. He says in his commentary notes last year that he gave up and did BDC last year. He gave up drifting last year because he had a baby. I'm going to make a confirmation here that it was his wife that had the baby. That's a complete lie from Keith Barton O'Shea on this information. But he's going back to have some fun this year, have the crack, and he's looking good on track there, taking the bonnet off the car. Probably some cooling issues. Hot day out there on the track for these cars. Running 500 horsepower. 1 JZ and just overcooking it over the finish line, but it won't count. You got to cross. Once you spin after the finish line, that's just style points. You can't lose anything once you go across the finish line. And Keith Barton O'Shea, right on Link ECU under the bonnet of that car, making a big transformation to it. First day, a little bit of ring rust coming back after a little bit out. He's.
I mean, the end of the run was very, very tidy. Just the initiation through clipping point, 3 onto 4, just a little bit scrappy. But like you say, making his comeback. Getting his feet back in the seat.
Yeah, and you know what? It takes some time. I mean, 58.3. It's not bad. Not a bad score at all. And I think just a couple of clipping zones missed, but to get back in, not put a 0 on the board now. Next up, here's the one to watch. Winner of the Pro-Am Championship in the British Drift Championship 2 weeks ago. Lee Scott, 500 horsepower with 25, coming in very hot in the first corner. Nails the first 3 clipping zones. Lee Scott's on a big run here, Ian.
Yeah, this is very good from Lee Scott. Nice and wide on that Link ECU corner. This guy's one to watch. Unbeaten in the UK so far. Strange line out of Link ECU though. Gets on the wall nice and early. You can hear him really working that RB25 under the bonnet as he pushes across the line. A good run there from Lee Scott.
He is looking so comfortable right now with his car, with his style, with any track you put in front of him. He was almost in a different league when he went to the British Drift Championship, and I'm not saying that from the Irish side.
I agree
if he was from Gibraltar, he was still in another
he was still in another league,
84.7 for Lee Scott. That's enough for a second position if I'm not mistaken. Now, here's one of the lower horsepower cars on the grid. It is Shea Rogers, 800 horsepower. What I'm just about to say, he's been absolutely killing practice, but he has an issue, and that is the story of 2017 for Shea Rogers. Issue after issue. You remember this car competing in the Pro class at the British Drift Championship with Mark Looney behind the wheels. had 1,000 horsepower. They wound it back, I say wound it back, to 800 horsepower, but they did some engines last year. They did a lot of work on the off-season. He drove, I was watching him yesterday. You could have slotted him into the pro grid.
Exactly.
It made no difference.
Him earlier with Lee Scott, twin in practice.
Yeah.
It was like watching a final.
It was a final.
It was a final in pro.
Yeah, you need to be charging people in for practice with those guys out there. But it was incredible. And from my perspective, this is a huge blow for his confidence. Again, the car causing him some issues.
So we move it back to the line, David, where we do see.
It is going to be
Damien. No.
Paulius.
Judicious.
Delicious Judicious, as we managed to name him from the Irish Championship. This is actually, Ian, you'll remember this car. Simon Perry's old North 33 in the British Drift Championship. Plenty of horsepower. Did a good job. It's the first Pro-Am event this weekend for Paulius.
Yeah, looking good earlier in practice, and looks like he's laying it down. Absolutely firing this R33 Skyline to the wall on that wide line. Holds it all the way out there. Looking good from Paulius. So, 35-year-old business owner from County Meath.
Yeah, makes fiberglass panels. So the right business to be in when you drive like Paulius is making the panels for your car. But yeah, hand on the roof. He's having fun out there today. Who isn't in the Sunshine? 76.7. What a not a bad way to start your Pro-Am career here in the Irish Drift Championship. Nice job from Paulius putting a score on the board. Next up, we have got a very slow start. It's an unorthodox approach here from Nigel Moody, but we were hearing some issues with this car. As far as I could tell, there was some issues with this car in practice, and I think, yeah, it looks like he's going to be towed back into the pits. He's not out, as far as I know, for another couple of runs, or is that his run in the bag?
That's his first run out,
window,
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate. As you can see, he's going to have to be recovered. It was breaking down. I mean, Nigel actually won an event here in this layout previously, so we were expecting him to come out strong, but it just didn't look like he was at home this morning, and the car obviously giving some trouble. Next up, our next driver to go is Shane Reedy. Shane Reedy, the tyre fitter from County Clare. SR 20 power, 380 horsepower coming in hot. Ian, they're starting to get confident with the grip levels out there, but again, not just great enough to push wide to 3. No, get me wrong, it is a terrifying corner. But when I was driving yesterday, it is terrifying over that hill. But and you can forgive guys for not going in so hot, but I think the grip level's rising out there. They're actually getting more grip than they think they have, and it's tougher to push wide. Yeah, not a bad run though.
Looking good, very, very well executed, apart from that little drop of clipping point 3. Like you say, Dave, very, very easy for these guys to kind of wash too wide and then mess up the whole run. So I think a few guys just kind of, the first run, playing it a little bit safe, but like you say, there's really no room for them safe runs anymore.
No, and as I said, 52.7 is kind of, he did the track, he got around sort of run. Needs to tidy up on the technicality. The guys are going to be crucified for that today because the judges are looking for that to separate these guys. Next up, we've John Paul Devlin, the lorry driver from County Tyrone. 400 horsepower, OB25, so he's got kind of a little bit of washing. Got him to the tipping zone, but he let off a lot of throttle there. He had to sort of the car washed out there rather than powered out there.
Yeah, judge is going to score him down massive for that. That should be an acceleration zone. Manages to get it back. Fires it to the wall.
Yeah, John Paul Devlin.
Yeah, conservative run for me there, Dave.
It was conservative.
It was very conservative.
We don't mean the UK political party. So we are going to go. Yeah, that's the first half of the qualifying session done. Blasted through that. That flew through.
That flew through.
Yeah.
That's because the sun's out.
We should just order. I'm just going to order. Hold on, let me get my phone. I'm going to order Sunshine for all of the rounds this year. I'm going to put it into the weather app there on the iPhone. 47.3 for John Paul Devlin. Nice run out there, 23rd position at the moment. Can we get a shot of the start line there? As you can see, the sun is just perfect. Perfect conditions for everybody here. And you can see Cian Droney on the start line. He is a bit of a character himself.
Very much a character.
He was telling us a story the other night of how he was going on a night out and he sold the car that he was trying to sell, and he had no way out. So he went on to one of the for sale ads and found the nearest car for sale for him under €1,000, bought it and went out for that night. That's how ingenious that guy is. So we move on to our next driver. It is Team Crozier. Oh, look at Mondello there as he comes through the first corner.
Looking nice and wide, double point 3. Fires it back into 4 and on throttle now, all the way around that Lincoln corner. Scored a 70 on his first run. And Crozier really working it now as he fires the car to the wall. This is an aggressive run from Crozier.
A lot of clutch kicking, 600 horsepower, 1.5 JZ, representing Lakeland Tires, Huey brake lines, Wilson Lenderman Wares, and wheel painted. who I presume paint wheels. That's what they do.
That's what they
I
do.
like a company that explains what it does in the title.
Yeah.
Dean Crozier, will he improve on his first score? Where will he land in the order? And that, just to let you know, Ian, that paddock makes no sense right now. There was 800 horsepower drift cars, and then there was a buggy going by, and 77 improves up to 4th position for Dean Crozier. Not a bad run at all. Just saying, we've got super rally cars and buggies and drift cars and everything going on there. It's
everything
insane.
going on.
Andy Keys next up, looking strong on his first run, consistent, has got the opportunity to push harder here. Ian has a pretty reasonable score after his first run.
And he does, look at that nice one. Oh, you know what, that little correction there as he transitioned into 4. Big angle on that link ECU, keeps it out nice and wide. This is a very, very good run.
And he's sitting in 11th position with a 67.3 as you can see. So he's sort of just trying to improve on that, trying to just dial it in. And a lot of these guys will think, okay, I'm in the show maybe with that score, but if I want to go to the battles, I want to be leading, so I want to be the high end of that top 32 bracket. So Andy Keys, I mean, straight from IADC, he was podium, and now here he goes again. So these new cats coming in here, and you just don't know who they are, and then all of a sudden after IADC, you're like, this guy is just something special, yeah. So let's see what Andy Keys scores. There, look at that, 68, just improves slightly into 11th position, but that's not bad at all.
No, I mean, two very, very close scores, so consistency there from Andy Keys. We move it along.
Terence Fury is our next driver. Well, I think we missed his score on the first run, but he was way up there. Look at that, 87. Now it reminds me of how good his first run. This guy, this is his first ever IDC Pro-Am event. He sits in second with an 80s. Imagine your first qualifying run.
First ever qualifying run.
Ever.
And
in
second.
The big show was just a measly 87. So what's he going to do here?
He's got it all to throw to the wall right now, Dave, as he comes off the line. It will be Terence Fury. And listen to him pedal it, big clutch kick on initiation.
He's coming in hard, that's a big clutch kick entry.
Oh,
and he's right out there.
Looking good, hardly any use.
Oh, he missed that clipping zone. I was about to say he's done the hard work. And then he made it just a simple error there.
Yeah.
Here comes a wall tag for sure. Oh, so close.
Just keeping it off the walls. Runs that spoiler all the way along that. Do you know what?
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? 2 cracking runs. I wouldn't like to be going up against Terence Fury in the battles later on.
He's looking strong for top 32.
And he's going to be leading out his first battle. You can assume that with the score he put in. So a lot of work to do for someone coming up against him. He is on fire today. So figuratively, not literally.
Yeah.
Thank God. But let's see if he can improve, and I don't think that's going to improve. No. In my opinion, but then my opinion counts for very little around here these days. So let's see what he does. Look at all those people in the grandstand for the shade.
For the shade.
For the shade.
They've bunched up this end.
It's at 87 and 80 in your first ever IDC Pro-Am event. Who the hell is Terence Fury, and where have you been all our lives?
So
next up, Thomas Gibbons sitting on a 0 after his first run. Couldn't get through the first corner, had a spin, has to come in here more tentatively.
He does, look at this, much more tentative, less angle, starts to dial it on now, gets out to clipping point 3. This is a much more tentative. Oh! And a misshift, Dave, as he comes into link ECU corner.
That looked like a misshift from 3rd to 2nd, Ian, just going into the slower sections of the track. And just a little stop-start and a little bit of a burnout. Just not a tight track. We've seen much better runs from Thomas in the past. Car looks fantastic this year also, but I have a feeling that this is a 520 horsepower 2J car as well, so difficult to handle with a lot of grip in it, but let's see what his score is. It's going to, I mean, the score is not as high as I expected, but we still have a full run of second runs to go in the qualifying session, so.
Yeah, listen, there's still a lot of people scored zeros still to come. You know, Dylan Garvey, one of those guys.
Yeah, he's one we're watching, and yeah, 34.3. It's enough for 31st position at the moment, so he's still into the top 32, but
he's hanging on.
Yeah, he's hanging on by fingernails at this point. Next up, Paul Stryker had a bit of a mismatched first run. We expect big things from Paul. Always goes 110%.
And he does.
Throwing it.
Look at this, big speed. A little bit of understeer there. Just manages to keep it on circuit.
Yeah, almost dropping a wheel onto the concrete there. Just even too far into clip 3, but definitely wasn't afford to miss it. He definitely was going to get it this time around.
And you can hear Paul Stryker really working that car as he pushes it to the wall. Starts to push it all the way out to 8. Big wall run there for Paul Stryker as he takes it across the line.
Yeah, and I've never once seen Paul Stryker finish
not
a
hit
day
the wall
without taking at least 8 body panels off that car. So it's looking far too clean right now. But you get to the battles later on, we'll see what happens. But he always goes absolutely full ham, as Pete Nielsen would say.
Ham.
And let's see if Paul Stryker's done enough. That was a better run, definitely, than his first. So I think that's going to bump him up the order here. Yeah, 18th position for Paul Stryker with a 58.7.
So on the line, Shane Macken, sitting with a 43 on his first run.
Yeah, it's sort of, you know, the score's not as high as we expected. I think maybe the pressure getting to companies, a little bit of rustiness maybe, you know, but also compared to practice, I think a very big part of this that a lot of people don't realize when they watch on is go, oh, why didn't he just do what he did in practice? Because you didn't have the pressure of everybody watching you and judging you, and you knew if you messed up, you were going to, it was over. So that affects, that's the real mental strain of drifting. And I think, you know, we've talked about the physical element of actually driving the car, but the mental side will never be understood by somebody watching on from the grandstand or the live stream. That's the pressure of 6 months of expectation on 50 seconds, you know. It takes guts of steel.
It does.
And Shane Macken doing a great job of that too. Nice run so far. Very wide. Will he avoid the gravel? He will. And he's collected some clipping zones here. Not a bad run at all from Shane Macken so far.
Now Shane Macken looking very, very tidy. Tentative entry, but holds it together on a very technical line, Dave, so it's going to score high for the judges. Pulls it across the line, and Shane Macken...
One word for that, tidy.
Tidy.
It was a tidy run. I think that's going to get him a lot of brownie points with the judges. Smooth on the clipping zones, not spectacular.
No.
But when you have a 43, guys, round of applause for Shane Macken as he passes in front of you in the grandstand. It's a great run from him, and you know what? I think he's definitely going to improve. Yeah,
judges like that style of driving.
Yeah,
they like that very technical,
well, what you want
clean.
to look like you're in control of the car, and Shane did look like that throughout the run there. So I couldn't doubt him on that. Look at that, 69, big improvement up to 11th place for Shane Macken on his second run. Now here's a man going for top spot. He currently sits in top spot. Ryan Caldwell scored a 90.3 on his first run. He's home and dry. We don't even need to worry about this one. But could he start saying to some of the pro drivers, what? Look at the clutch kick entry from Ryan Caldwell.
Ryan Caldwell right now looking like a pro driver, Dave, all the way out to the edge of the circuit as he fires it back onto fourth. Link ECU corner absolutely nailed as Ryan Caldwell pedals at 2JZ S15. This is good from Ryan Caldwell.
He's on it. He's on it today.
He's absolutely on form. Look at him, arm out the window.
You know you're confident when you got the hand out the window. He's already had a 90 run on the board, so he knows straight away that Quinn's M Sport car is going to be into at least the top 3 positions in qualifying today. He looks like a fish out of water there. That's a pro class run for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's flawless. You know, the clutch kick initiation was so aggressive.
So he's 16 years of age, so it's very depressing. Again, look at this, a 90.3 and an 88. Stays in first position. He still would have been in first position even if that was just the second run. Now, here's a big one. Dylan Garvey, 0 on the first run. Current Irish amateur drift champion. They fixed the car, has it all to do. Think about the pressure he's under right now. All that expectation on him. Coming in here as a champion, 18 years of age, never done an IDC Pro-Am event before. He's got to get it done here, Ian. Yeah,
he's got one run to get it done, David. He's looking good so far. Looks like the car is singing for him right now. Nice and deep on 6. Good transition, almost running the wall with that spoiler. You know what?
I think that's enough. I think it's enough. It's not a bad. It's tentative, and he had to be. If you only one shot to get in the show, you got to be tentative. You can't go in crazy and afford a spin or any sort of mistake. But it doesn't do enough for Dylan. I mean, he looked so solid, so flawless. Mechanical failure on the first run. What will the second run score? It's getting exciting because there's a lot of contenders. Look at that, 13th position for Dylan Garvey with 67.7. Not the highest run in the game, but it's enough to put a mid-pack. You'd be happy with that. David Dunn up next. 450 horsepower, SR 2.1. Coming in hot, Ian. Very late initiation, probably missed. No, stays on 2 and gets to 3. Good so far from David Dunn. Look at this line.
Nice and wide into Link ECU from David Dunn. This is good. Stands on the accelerator. Starts to get it done, and this is a nice tidy run from David Dunn so far.
He's looking comfortable out there. He's looking confident. Hand out the window.
And you know what? I'm going to say that's probably one of the best runs I've seen David Dunn do in a long while.
He knows himself. He coming off the line, he's like, I've nailed that.
This is the one.
I've nailed that. Like he knows. I think he knows he's got the clipping zones, and as much as you need a spotter on the radio, you can see them with your own eyes as you're going through them. If you're in the middle of the track, you're going, it shouldn't really be here. So I think that's a good run. I don't think it's again spectacular run.
No,
like we've seen from Caldwell or Fury, but it's enough to get him in the show, I think. Enough to get him into that top 32. Let's see as the scores drop in. And we see him when you see him, and then we tell the people here when we see him.
When we see him.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
There you go, 62.3. So
Two consistent
runs from David Dunn.
Drops him
He's right
bang in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, it's all to play for now in the balance for him. Ty Clogher is our next driver. I wasn't going to let you try and pronounce that name.
I can say his name.
You can say his name?
Yeah.
You've
Ty
had this
Clogher.
problem before, haven't
yeah,
you?
but it's the first time I ever come over and commentated. Eddie dropped me in it and was like, and on the line here.
It is Ty
yeah.
Clogher. Okay, but Ty Clogher from County Meath, F20C, 230 horsepower, and Clogher at the moment sitting in 24th position. So let's see how he gets on. Can he improve it? It's not super unsafe, but there's a lot of runs left to go. So I'm thinking he wants to improve that score quite a bit. Just pushing out as much as he can. The car is screaming.
That car has no more to give right there for Tiger.
That is everything he has there. Full foot to the floor. A little bit wide there. Tidies it up though back in the clipping zones. This car, would you believe, Ian, has got a registration plate available for it. So that's not that amazing for you guys in the UK, but any cars in Ireland, we generally don't have them on the road. But I think this one can actually go on the road. Don't quote me on that, or whether it should be on the road, but an awesome car from
The
Ty
possibility
Clogher.
is there.
Yeah. You know, he just rolls in here every weekend. Quiet, unassuming, 230 horsepower, but he's one of the more consistent qualifiers in the class, which is a testament to his ability behind the wheel.
So we wait for Ty's score to drop him.
Look at that shot. Take a selfie with the weather today.
If you are local.
Yeah, 57, 22nd position for Ty Clogher. He's happy with that one. Yeah, this is here we go, another driver off line. I'm just going to start talking about the weather again because I'm just so impressed with it. But Sean Watt is our next driver. On a 0 from his first run, overcooked him coming into the engine management corner. That's what I remember from the last one. So cannot go on the big angle transition here. Yeah, you can see dialing out that angle a little bit this time. Well able for this track, Sean Watt. But you know what? Has to do the job here to get himself into the battles later on today.
Yeah, one chance to get it done. Slows it down. You see him locking up that front wheel there, trying to get that car on the wall. Nice tidy job on those last two wall runs and across the line. Arm out the window. And almost spins across the line.
You know what? That's the place to do it when you finish the run.
I think he's just very excited to get that done.
Yeah, we go for our Pro-Am battles this evening at 3:30. For you guys in attendance, you're going to get a treat after qualifying. For the first time ever, we're going to have Rallycross hit the track after.
I mean, what next, Dave?
Well, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do. The red arrows? I mean, what are we going to add to these events today? But Rallycross, they're here, they're ready to go. Here's a score drive. Look at that on the second run, 72.3 into 9th position. He looks smug in the photo, and he should be, with a score like that. Another man looking to improve is Martin Green. Had some issues on the first. Not a bad run, but just not spectacular. Wants to improve on it. He's in 32nd place. There you have it. He's right on the drop zone at the moment. Pops up on our screen, so he has to improve, and he's wildly driving his F14.
It's an aggressive run. Big angle, clipping point 3 there. Starts to tone it down a little bit now, but you can hear him really pedaling. That S14 gets it to the wall and across the line. Much more of an aggressive run there from Martin Green.
He just drove the wheels off the car.
Just out of nowhere.
It was just everywhere, and smashing gears and touches and everything. And let's hope it's done enough for him to get him into the top 32. I enjoyed it.
I did enjoy that.
Sometimes you want to be a little scared when you watch someone come into the corner, and that's what we were there with Martin Green. So I'm hoping the judges reward that. Again, I'm not sure about the technicality of it. I'm judging at BDC. It's so different. You watch it so differently as a judge to a commentator or a viewer. It's so much more intense when you have the criteria to work with. But here you go, get a great overview of the track there. We're going to have NASCAR here next year.
Just look in the distance.
Yeah, look, you can actually see the mountains.
Clouds.
There's no cloud. 73.9, big improvement. The 9th place for Martin Green. Wow, what a run for Martin Green. Next up, Ben Galbraith, 24-year-old welder fabricator from County Tyrone, representing Dirk Tires, Aiken Auto Spares, JV Engineering, RJ McGee, Bristol Cell Photography and Drift Industries. It's not bad. 200 horsepower, only 328.
He's doing a good job so far. Nice and wide.
I think he can win the gravel.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, he's going to the beach. Saw the weather, went to the beach. Way over the lines there as well, almost 2 wheels off. So just messy. One, but he's sort of 28th at the moment. He's going to be nervous lines for Ben Galbraith. They had moments, but not all together. So the judges, I'm sure, are going to deduct him for a few of those. As I was saying, Rallycross on here after Irish Drift Championship qualifying. Then we're back for our Pro-Am Top 32. at 3:30 Greenwich Mean Time, because I have to say that now because people watch it from all over the world.
Yep.
So 3:30 we're going to our live top 32 battles. No pro practice today. They got to get all that done tomorrow morning. They were testing yesterday. There you go. 17 not improving, so staying at 28 as we expected from Ben Galbraith. Next driver up is Michael Purcell in the R32 Skyline. And Michael coming in with some pretty stylish entries in practice, but has to get the job done here on his second run. Hammering the car towards clip 3. Not a bad job.
No, looking tidy, managed to get it out there this time. Didn't quite make it last time. Scored a 42 on his first run. Slows the car down ever so slightly. This looking a little bit wild now from Purcell. Looks like he's fighting the car, Dave. Doesn't look fluid.
Yeah,
doesn't look easy.
It looks like he's not comfortable, and I'm not sure if that's just the grip that's out there. Remember, the pros running here yesterday, just literally we walked out after the pros were finished and you couldn't lift your feet because there was that much rubber on the ground. You were stuck. So a lot of these guys that aren't running huge horsepower struggle with that when that grip goes down on that line. You're making the car very loose then, because you have to try and balance between what grip is on the track and what grip you're running in the car. And it looks like a couple of guys are struggling with, especially the lower horsepower guys, where years ago, if it's wet, you're fine, those guys are no problem at all. There you go. 58 though does improve into 23rd position for Michael Purcell. Not bad at all. Kevin Kildare.
Yeah.
As Mike Fitzgerald often said it, it's like the Pope Mobile, white and black smoke
White
everywhere.
and black smoke everywhere. Yeah, 46 on his first run. What has he got? Oh, a huge amount of understeer. Manages to dial it back out though. Gets that car back going again. Nice and wide on Leaky ECU.
Kevin Kildare. Lock stops the lock stops. So he's had a little error at the start, but he's putting in all the style points now, and just slows down on the lock and the car shuts down a little.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a 0, as you can hear our judges proclaiming did not finish the run, and just making all sorts of the wrong noises trying to start again there, Kevin Kildare. And so unfortunate. Again, he said it's sort of an experiment. He likes to engineer this car himself, just do something different. Look how much black smoke he kicks out. When it works, it's great, but we've seen it break down quite a few times. So, trying something new and not trying to test it can lead to be your own worst enemy in a sense. And for Kevin Kildare, that means a 0 on his second run. David Garvey, he's looking very comfortable today. I'm very impressed. RB26 under the bonnet, 600 horsepower. It's an XD1 GP car if you're not aware of this car. And David Garvey doing a very good job. A little bit deft again. Clip 1 and 2 and 3, just spot on.
Yeah,
just a little bit of wheel drop.
nailed.
You know what? He's doing a good job. Looking very comfortable today.
Yeah, currently sitting in 5th position. And looking very tidy as he throws that.
Just putting 2 wheels off the track. Went a little too deep in that first wall run. And the Kilkenny tree surgeon. A tree surgeon always sounds like a good job to me. I have this opinion of a tree in a hospital.
Laid down
Yeah,
on
laid
the
down,
bed.
and they're trying to put branches back on, but I'm sure it's nothing like that. He's representing Team Dealt with Suffolk Plant Tire Mad Racing this weekend, along with Everything Drift and Billy Ryan Tires. Let's see, there you go, 49, but the first run's still enough for him to be in 5th position. I think he's not going to be budged too far from there, judging by what we've seen. So good first run enough for David Garvey there to see him up the order. Robin Neeson, as we said, 850. This must be the highest horsepower JZX maybe in the country. Definitely wouldn't be far off it. 850 horsepower. It's a beast. It just looks like a beast to drive though.
Yeah, it looks angry, it sounds angry. And look at this, Robin Neeson, big clutch kick as he transitions onto the wall, and Neeson just keeping that car where it needs to be. Look at the smoke that comes off this thing.
Close to the finish line there, but I think he's got away with that one.
I think he was blinded by his own smoke.
I think he couldn't see because of his own smoke from the first half of the corner, and that's when you know you've got a lot of horsepower.
There's worse problems to have.
and then you put 2 of those out there tomorrow and we'll see nothing. So we're going to have a radio show tomorrow, me and you, Ian, on the radio.
Like a podcast.
It's like a podcast because you're not going to see anything. There's going to be that much smoke out here when the pros get out here tomorrow. But Proppin Neeson waits for his score to drop in. Let's see what way the judges go. As you can see, sunshine baking the track. You can actually see how much rubber is being laid down just from that outside line. Yeah, 57.7 up the order a little bit for Robin Neeson, 25th position. Looks like we may see that JZX into the battles at 3:30 today, which we always want to do. Now here's Barry Rogers. He's under pressure, I think.
Very much.
And there's a lot of pressure in the tires, that's for sure.
There is going to be all the pressure in the tires.
He has 170 horsepower in this car. I think my Jeep has the same horsepower as that, which is probably a sign. Mine definitely can't drift. I'm going to tell you that for a fact. 323. He's claiming that he taught pro driver Dean Martin how to drift. I think Dean would argue that point.
I'm sure he would, yeah.
He's actually a mechanic for Dean Martin here. And he said he would have, a better car, only he spends all his time helping Dean build his stupid car. Yeah. So that's exactly why he hasn't got a better one. So he's blaming Dean Martin for the majority of the problems in his personal life and in his drift life. But I'm sure Dean will take that on the chin. He's a panel leader from RD in County Louth, representing Morgan Auto Body Repairs, Carl's Auto Factors, Auto Paint, and Wattfab. He said that the biggest improvement he's made is he's got a heavier right foot. He's got a shoe that's heavier on the right foot now.
A lead
shoe.
Yeah.
So he just puts that down when he comes into the first corner and uses the steering wheel and everything. The handbrake, and that's it. You can see how much under pressure he is on that first corner, especially with the grip laid down. It's sort of like sacrifice 2 or 3. It seems to be, but I mean, stranger things have happened. He might just pull this one out.
Yeah, I mean, what can he do right now? As Barry Rogers comes off the line for his second qualifying run, fires it in, no use of the handbrake, just fires that car in. You can hear him absolutely smashing the rev limiter.
As much as it has, you can tell the car is just dying on full throttle there, so gripping up massively as it compresses coming down the hill.
Yeah.
The rest of the course, though, he seems to have pretty much dialed in. It's just, again, with a 3-2-3, your style points, your line, your angle, all of that's going to suffer a little bit by just not having the right tools at your disposal. It works on the shorter, smaller tracks, but on the larger ones, it's a big ask. And I'm wondering, has Barry done enough to get himself into the top 32 today? One driver we're not seeing on the grid is Ryan Morton, ex-Irish amateur drift champion. Had an engine failure in practice this morning after 6 months of building that car. Heartbreaking stuff for Ryan and his crew after finishing it late last night. So there you have it, 33rd position, not enough for Barry Rogers at the moment to get him into our top 32. Next up, Damien Short is our next driver, aircraft engineer. Has in his notes here, he's from Ireland. We're like, we know that, Damien. No mistake. 400 horsepower. That's coming in very hot here.
Yeah, very hot. He currently sits in 32nd position in that drop zone, so he really needs to try and improve on his score, but this is not looking good for Damien right now. Very shallow on that link ECU corner.
Yeah, technically, some errors there.
Yeah, I mean,
especially on that last corner. It's just a little bit like he's, good 20 feet away from the wall there. And that's that outer line the judges are looking for. Getting around the track is obviously no issue for Damien whatsoever, but got to dial a little bit more precision in there, I think, to get the higher scores. Yeah, I'm not too sure if that's going to be a very good score or where that leaves him in the leaderboard. Car looks good though.
Very
good.
Yeah.
So that's a positive note. It's 29th position, so he's just cracked inside that top 32, 44 up to a 49. You know what? It's improving. That's a good thing. Jordan Boyce, though, he impresses me every run he does. He had a couple of errors on the first half of the last run, but I think he's going to throw this in big again. I think he's going to try and take down Caldwell off top spot in a Sierra, and everyone's going to go, what the hell has happened to drifting?
Yeah, what's just happened?
What's just happened? He can't hear us, so we can't psych him out. So people there were cursing them. They're not listening to the live stream while they're in the car. At least I hope not. But then well done. No criticisms whatsoever.
No.
So Jordan Boyce is our next student off the line. A student 16 years old. Look at the entry.
Big angle.
That's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Yes, he can. It's a big run so far, Ian.
Yeah, looking good so far. Gets nice and wide on that link ECU. Much tidier run here from Ryan Calder. You can hear him just shift the gear and kick the clutch. Oh! Takes the back line out of it. Keeps in it and rubs
hits
the wall again.
Wall. Jordan Boyce.
Judges absolutely loving that
15-inch tires in a Sierra. A very conventional mix for the current world of drifting. Has he done enough to go top? That's going to be definitely up there.
He's like
definitely
a new era James Dean.
Yeah, James Dean started in a Sierra, so you could say it's the best place to start. At 16, James Dean was in a Sierra. Jordan Boyce was 16 in a Sierra. I'm not saying it. Look at that. Into second position goes Jordan Boyce with an 87.7. Wow. 87.7 in a Sierra. We know nothing. How many Sierras have you built, Ian? None.
That's how many. Zero.
Yeah,
that's how popular
nothing.
they are.
Building GTRs, forget about it. Sierras, that's where it's at. Here we go, Paul Kennedy. I promised a big run. I'm telling you, he's going to do it.
Yeah, look at this. Much nicer entry there. Oh, he gets it wrong. Keeps in it. Keeps in it.
It was aggressive.
Very aggressive, and this is a lot more aggressive than his last run. You can hear him absolutely got that car singing now through clipping point 6. Fires it to the wall, but sacrifices 7.
Yeah, too much angle there on the transition, just snapped on him. And
good impact, but
he had a lot of. Oh, car doesn't sound great. It's grinding on the wheel, I think. Oh, not too sure what's happening there. Definitely.
we see.
I'm not too sure what was going on there. You can see the smoke there is actually just not only tire smoke, but there was like something was grinding underneath the car. Nails on a chalkboard is what it sounded like.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have no idea. But I'm sure it's. I'm going to say it's the. What random part? The brake caliper stuck on. That's what I'm going to go with.
You're going to go with that?
Yeah. Brake caliper.
I'm going to say something to do with the exhaust.
Okay, so we're like pretty much every main dealer. we're going to say it's both the brake caliper and the exhaust. And yeah, charge you for it. There you go. 30th position, creeps inside the top 32. A lot of impact, but technically, I mean, he went for the big angle on the wall.
The snappy transition was impressive.
It's impressive he didn't spin, but it just threw him offline.
Yeah.
And that can hurt. So I'm not sure what is going on. Just definitely something dragging on the ground. So I'm going to take back my statement of the brake caliper. I don't think the brake caliper can drag on the ground. So, yeah. Not too sure.
Definitely sounds like the exhaust is falling off.
It's the exhaust falling off the car, I think. Maybe from the wheel drop on clip 2, maybe something got dislodged. I'm not too sure. But, yeah, whatever it may be, he is. At least he's dragging it back with him to the pits.
He's taking it with him, and he's inside that top 32, so looking good for Paul Kenton.
Tex Tires BMW lips off the track. I'm sure an easy fix for the guys there to get that back in action for if they do stay in those positions for top 32. Next up is Trevor McInerney, the mechanic from Clare, DT Autos, McKelliott's Castletown Motors. He's been a mechanic for 14 years, so he's obviously massively depressed at the world and the amount of cars he's fixed. But he is not depressed when he's behind the wheel of this monstrous 600 horsepower PS13. Nice entry. He's coming in hot, Ian.
Yeah, very aggressive there from McInerney again. A very, very aggressive driving style this weekend. They firing that car in. Not scared to use the accelerator either, as you can hear him pedaling that car. Fires it to the wall. Very tidy job there from McInerney as he pulls it across the line. Now, will he get lost again?
He can't see.
He can't see anything. He is going to go in the gravel.
It's muscle memory now.
No,
he's all right. He got the sat nav this time. He just said go left. Okay. It's a lot of smoke in the cabin of the car. I'm impressed by it.
Yeah.
More by that, you know, he'd be a great man to drive on a foggy night. He'd just turn off the lights and just
go.
He'd get home. He'd be fine. Muscle memory. He'd know himself. Let's see where the scores drop in for Trevor McInerney. Let's see if he can prove somebody. It was a good run. He's very aggressive on that entry. I like that a lot.
But a lot of these Pro-Am guys, I noticed earlier, they've took that pro style of initiation, a big flick and aggressive, and I think that they know now that is how you either win or lose a battle. If you can drive away from someone.
When you do that flick, you can see nothing but halfway up the grandstand. You can't even see the track. It just drops away from you in front of you. So it's a brave move. 67.2, there you go, jumping up the order is Trevor McInerney, 20th position, should be safe for top 32.
Yep, and off the line to Graham Holden. Now he looked very good in his first qualifying run.
He did, and he's been looking good he's on 4 wheels almost slide there through the corner. Look at that line. Going right to the edge of the circuit. He's going for a big run here, Ian.
Yeah.
Lots of impact. Maybe not as perfect as Calvin. Oh, and a very snappy transition.
Oh, looking good from Holden, currently in 17th position. Pedaling that car all the way across the line. Very fast.
Do we have to remind people, this is the Pro-Am class. This is the Pro-Am. These are the guys. And if you look at it from Graham Holden's point of view, he is one of the lowest ranked Pro-Ams here, considering he's coming from the league below.
Oh, IDC, yeah.
So if this is a taster of what's to come this weekend, and you're not in Mondello, have a good long look at your life, because you should be here. This is about to go down. We've got supercar rally cars. We've got everything going off here tomorrow.
We've got everything. International drivers, UK
We've got
drivers.
guys from Australia coming. You can't make it from down in Ireland. Come on.
Yeah.
He's
20 minutes up the road.
He's asleep on the ground in his garage. He's jet lag. 4th position for Graham Holden from the IDC. What a run for Graham Holden. That is how you announce yourself onto the Pro-Am class. And this guy has been doing it all day. Harry Kerr looking to try and better that of Graham Holden. And what has he got as he fires in? M3 powered E46. 14 years old, the student from Antrim. Looking nice in that link. You look at that wide line. Good transition onto 6. Puts the car on the wall. Absolutely perfect, Dave, as he comes off the wall and through 9. Hammering the car across the line. I'm just super impressed right now with the standard of driving. I mean, you've seen what, one spin,
One spin.
one or two spins in the whole qualifying session so far. Everyone's, you know, we haven't pulled anyone out of the gravel. I mean, compared to where we were 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, these
Just
guys are
different.
killing it.
Yeah, different.
This is pro class level at the Pro-Am. That's why it makes this championship so interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And I think the battles later on, there you go. Does it improve on his first run, Harry Kerr, but a 76 on the board and a 74. No, for 8th position at the moment. And that is impressive. Next up, Lee McFadden. All these IADC guys looking for blood here.
Yeah, and looking to take it down, and Lee McFadden fires the car in. Nice angle through 7.1, shallows it out through 2, gets on a good line to 3. Now McFadden, you can hear him pedaling that car, lets the car just drop a little bit of speed there, gets back in it. Like we said earlier, this guy very, very good at chase driving, very aggressive. And across the line, good run there from McFadden.
Yeah, and his reflective chrome graphics, so he gets an extra 4 points for me for just glistening in the sun.
And I like S14, so another 4 points.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
That's what
scene
it's about.
points, they
Scene
work,
point,
and they count for nothing. They don't even go into the computer. They just it's just us saying it and it doesn't go anywhere. But you know what, respect
Fan favourites.
Fan favourites. A lot of pictures taken of that car this weekend. Looks great. 20-year-old Stone Mason gets a 78 points into 6th position. Goes Lee McFadden. 6th position. IADC guys now are coming in hot.
What are you,
all of them.
What are you doing out here to these guys?
We are genetically creating these guys in the off-season. And here's another one. Michael Muckian, 27-year-old farm contractor, 700 horsepower, RB25, and he is out there in a Clip 3 as well.
Look at this, absolutely singing, very, very aggressive car. And when he turns it on, this car makes clouds. As Michael Muckian fires it to the wall, just to avoid taking the back end off. Big clutch kick across the line.
It's a mental car. It just makes so much noise.
Just an angry wasp was what
It
I
is.
got told earlier. It
Yeah,
sounded
it's like an angry wasp is exactly it. I think all the other wasps around Mondello just left. They're like, oh, there's no point in dealing with this guy. But he is another IADC driver, and I'm looking through that grid and saying they are looking very, very strong as things go forward here. Michael Muckian, let's see what he gets on his second result.
Yeah, scored a 0 on his first run, Dave. So, I mean, talk about getting it all done on your second run.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's where the pressure really ramps up. Because if you haven't got a first good run in the bag, then you're under massive strain. Let's see what he gets here. I think it definitely will improve on his first. Because it was a 0. It's a 79.3. Into 6th position goes Michael Muckian. And he is safe home and dry for top 32. Relief all round. Next up is Neil Dunn. And Neil Dunn, just look at that entry. Little flick across, big angle. That's exactly what the goodness want to see now. Keeps it absolutely pinned. Little tentative here, just avoid the ground. That's a good line though. Perfect line from Neil Dunn.
Neil Dunn looking very, very strong this season. Dave come back with a vengeance. And almost running the wall there with the back of that PS13 MDT.
He was in 21st position, and I think that's going to bump him up a lot. That was, in my opinion, which again, I don't want to give because they might be completely looking at the wrong thing. I just saw lots of smoke and hands out to win it. Guys, give it up. One of the great characters of Irish Drifting. Get up for Neil Dunn. That was a great run. It was fast. It had smoke. He was on
good
the clips,
angle.
Good angle. He was kind of, it looked like he was going to go in the gravel, but he didn't, and I like that because you kind of get that, whoa, and then, oh, he's okay. And yeah, he's got no taillights, so you know he's obviously hitting things all morning. So I'm going to give 4 points for that.
Neil Dunn likes to hit things.
Yeah, he does a lot of things.
I like the way he got the gravel out.
81.7 for Neil Dunn. Into 6th position he goes. No worries there. He's ready to rock for battles at half 3. Next up, Sam Hamilton. He looks strong.
Yeah, Sam Hamilton looking strong in his first run. 71 fires it in. Tentative entry there from Hamilton, but absolutely pinned. M3 engine under the bonnet of this S14. Like you said, Dave, earlier, like he's got a switch and a clutch pedal.
Yeah, it's on now. You can tell.
It's on.
Just full throttle everywhere. I love it. Sam Hamilton, his line driving is spectacular.
Yeah.
Look at that little just scrape on the wall, and he, for me, is looking very consistent. Whether it's better than his first run, I'm not sure, but I imagine it's going to be pretty similar.
It's going to be up there, yeah.
Sometimes you see these guys go 0 and then an 81, you go, great, he's qualified high. But when you see a guy get 2 consistent scores, he sometimes is the harder guy to come up against in a battle because he's dialed in. He's just doing the same thing over and over, and he's not making mistakes. So you can look at it both ways. You might not be the top qualifier, but you at least can get 2 consistent runs. You know you can go straight into your battles and do the same thing. So let's see what Sam Hamilton scored. There you go, 68.3, doesn't improve, stays in 16th position, but look, strong start there. Looking very consistent. Francis O'Shea looking for a little bit more consistency. The works on aeroplanes as far as I know with Francis, but 600 horsepower 2JZ, and this car, as I said before, like something you build in a computer game. Every perfect part in it. Looks good, goes good.
Exactly.
But just a little hesitation from Francis there as he came around that corner.
Yeah, currently sitting with a 59, so going to be looking to improve on that. But you know what, Dave? A few mistakes here and there creeping out on this run. So not sure if the judges are going to give him what he needs. Yeah, very
strong
good finish
from Francis O'Shea there. Lots of smoke, can't see anything, so that's obviously a good sign of he was on throttle for quite some time. This thing destroys a rear set of tires very, very quickly. And you know, looking for a bit of luck. Hasn't completed a full season without mechanical issues or scheduling issues with his job or whatever in about 3 years. So this is his first time he's come back for a full season. Said he's getting the pro license this year. There you go, 24th position is where Francis O'Shea stays for the moment. Ross Kenny's our next driver up. And Ross, once again, representing MDT Team Conjuma. Looking to just get out of that drop zone a little bit at the moment is Ross Kenny. 60 on his first run. Not bad.
Good commitment.
Just not getting out to clip 3. Just it's like a gearing issue. It's like it just runs out of steam or wheel speed.
You can hear him absolutely clipping the rev limiter, but nothing more to give from Ross Kenny there. Oh, big aggression on the wall.
Making a go of the wall run, so that's what I quite like. But then just very shallow on that last outside clip. So a couple of errors there. I'm not sure that's going to improve his score a whole lot, and but his first might be enough to see him into that top 32. We'll know when that scoreboard lights up at the end of qualifying. We'll be able to tell you who's in and who's out, and then we're going to hand over to the Irish Rallycross Championship, who are going to come out here and just, I don't know, crash into each other and make loads of dirt and stuff, and I'm looking forward to that.
Lots of aggression and
something different.
Dust.
Yeah, you get 2 for 1 deal here all weekend. Come for the drift and stay for the Rallycross. And Ross Kenny awaits his score from the judges. Let's see what he does. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't improve. No. 23rd position. I think that's solid enough, though, for Ross. 60 on his first run is strong. Alan O'Neill, though, had a very good first run.
Yeah, 75 on
and he was struggling. You know what? He was struggling in practice.
He didn't look good.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden
turns it on in qualifying.
Yeah, a little hesitation on entry there, but not bad. Does get to clip 2, keeps it pinned, and that's the line.
Yeah,
right,
that's the line.
3.
Yeah, manages to wind the angle on after the initiation. Gets out on nice wide line on that Link ECU corner. Keeps in it.
And of course, Alan will score an extra 4 points for having a rotary.
Yes.
Which in the Ian and Dave scorebook, which counts for nothing, but
means a lot.
Kudos. It's just kudos.
Yeah.
You gotta love a rotary. And Alan O'Neill, 2 consistent runs from him. We haven't seen Alan O'Neill come out here and do that for quite some time, and we know he's capable of it. That's an absolute fact. But right now, he's looking very comfortable. He was in very relaxed form yesterday when I saw him come in later. Very relaxed form this morning. Maybe that's the key. Just stay nice and chilled out.
Yeah.
And don't get too stressed on it. And yeah, it looks very much like he is a new Alan O'Neill this year with 2 consistent runs. Look at that, 60 on the second run. He's in 13th position after his first run of a 75.7. Good stuff from Alan O'Neill. Now moving along, Kenny Mulligan is our next driver.
71 on the first run. Looking good, is Mulligan. What has he got? Like I say, looking very, very good earlier in practice with Lee Scott. Big speed, big aggression on initiation, fires that car in. Good angle, gets all the way out to clipping point 3. Oh, and almost such a slight straight in there as he transitioned onto 4. And Mulligan fires that car on angle, keeps it in. Look at the big transition onto the wall from Mulligan, but not as deep as what the judges would like to see.
Not a bad run at all, Ian.
I'd say 2 consistent runs there from Mulligan.
You know what? I'm gonna. If I was a betting man, I'd put an outside bet on Kenny Mulligan today. He seems to be just on form. Yeah. He seems to be on form. I like that. And he's been inconsistent at times in the past, but today he looks like he's got that tracking car dialed in. So he's going to make a tough opponent later on in the top 32 battles.
So we wait to see what the judges have scored him.
Yeah, look, 2 consistent runs. As we said, 17th position. That's not a huge amount to write home about, but 2 consistent runs is because
mid-pack.
Yeah, Nigel Moody's made it back to the line. It's his first run. Missed the first one, a mechanical failure. Got to do it all here, Ian.
Yeah, all to play for. Done. Like you say, Dave, won this event and this layup before. So Nigel Moody, whoa, dropping wheels, manages to keep it on circuit though. Hear that anti-lag, popping and banging.
It's There's a lot of style, a lot of angle.
Big
Can he
style
finish
points.
it? Not bad. Nigel Mooney has, a little bit shallow here.
Oh, he's started to drop points now.
You know what? It's not perfect,
It's not, no.
but it's not bad. And his car sounds like Normandy Beach after the finish line on D-Day. There's so many pops and bangs and explosions going on in there. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It just sounds cool.
It's scene points again.
It's scene points again.
Scene
Oh,
points
it's another
again.
4 points for us.
Anti-lag,
Another
yeah.
4 points. Okay, so he gets 4 points for anti-lag.
20.
There you go. Creeps into the top 32. Nigel Moody with a 57.7. Next off the line now. He had mechanical issues on his first run as well. Breaking down, remember, 0 on his first run. Has to do it all here again. A lot of pressure on these guys.
What has Noah Whelan got?
Oh, he's in trouble and got it all wrong initiation. I think, you know what, that was a case of probably coming in too hot, coming in too hard and trying to do something spectacular.
I wonder if he expected to have the same issue he had last time. He sent it in hot and then he managed to get around it. Yeah.
The car was slow the first time, then he got all his problems fixed and it was too fast the second. Did a good job of making like a rolling burnout in reverse though, so he'll take 4 points from us on style points, but he won't score anything from the judges, unfortunately. So 39th position is where he will stay.
We move it along to his teammate.
Yeah, Keith Barlow-Shea, 500 horsepower. First run, not bad. He scored a 58. Not when you're coming back into the sport after a year out. Not a bad score at all, but he'll be feeling a bit more confident now in the car for the second and see if he can put a score on the board. There's plenty of speed and power in this car, that's for absolutely sure. And it looks great this year. Definitely the nicest livery I've seen on the car.
Yeah, for a long time. It looks very tidy. Oh, big use of the handbrake. Just going to pull him short. Yeah, exactly. Just drops him out of clipping point 5 there. Slowing the car down too much. Gets it back.
Nice close to the wall though. And a little straight in there and then back on the power again. Just a little hesitant on the throttle there, but does get it across the line over that last clipping zone. So, you know what? I think he's going to be borderline.
Yeah.
But it might be enough to see battle action. Again, when it gets to the battles, anything can happen there. So that's not qualifying just gets you in the show. This is just a warm-up. Just enough to prove, essentially what qualifying is proving that you can do a good lead run. That's essentially what it is. And it grids you up essentially for the battle. So that's what it's supposed to do. You can't win the event on qualifying. So just getting in the show is the most important thing. We've seen, in fact, last year, there you go, 27th position is where Keith Barlow-Shea stays with his first run, so not bad. We saw it last year, a guy qualified in 32nd position and won the event. So that was Derek Newsom last year in round 3. So Lee Scott, look at the entry from Lee Scott. He is coming in faster than anybody has there.
That is insane from Lee Scott. Listen to this, absolutely flat, very wide in that Linky CU corner. As Lee Scott transitions on clipping point 6, looking for a wall run. Oh, and Scott just keeping it off the wall. Very good for Lee Scott as he brings it across the line. Mondello can't give him a round of applause. Lee Scott.
I don't know. When we saw him drive years ago in the Irish Amateur Drift Championship, we thought there was something special there. And then he sort of ran out of legs a little bit when he got to the Pro-Am because he had an M3, didn't have a huge amount of power. Then he built this RB25 car and went with the dog box and did the job right, took the year out. He looks fairly unstoppable to me at times. He just... natural talent.
Yeah,
incredible
I mean,
to watch.
so talented. Such a good driving style, very aggressive. So 84 on his first run. What has he got?
It's a 78. And you know what? I'm going to say that was down to the clip 3, not as wide as the first run. Now, here's another big pressure situation. Shea Rogers, one of the tips for the weekend, has to do it all in one run here in that Super because he had a mechanical failure on the first. Comes through the first run, gets clip 1 and 2. Into clip 3. Shea was looking so comfortable all the way through practice, like it was just
easy.
scale electrics.
Yeah.
But now he's got to do it when it matters. Second run, can he get himself for the show?
And you know what, that car not sounding good, Dave.
No, it doesn't sound like it's running correctly. They're probably just have panicked it out. And you know what? Yeah, sounds like it's breaking down. I think they're going to have that time now, those 2 hours, if he made it into the show.
To fix it.
To fix it and get it right, but they had to run it or he would have been out. So taking a risk there on the engine as far as I can tell to send it out like that. Will it have paid off though? Will it get him into the top 32? Wasn't perfect. You could see if it's 800 horsepower, it certainly didn't have it through the first corner. So I'd say that car is breaking down, having issues, and he's just hoping to scrape this one in. That's what I would be imagining.
Yeah. So what does Shea Rogers score? Is it enough?
Oh, he does. It's 71 for Shea Rogers, 18th position, mid-pack with a broken-ish car, so he'll take that. Next up, you can even smell the race fuel in the air after that run. Valius, judicious. is our next driver to go. Coming in very hot here.
Big angle on initiation for clipping point 2 and 3 there. Gets it tidied up lovely. Nice and wide on Link ECU. Big clutch kicks. And fires it to the wall. This is tidy from Paulius. Arm out the window. He's absolutely over the moon with that.
Yeah, I think we got a bit of a showman on our hands.
We
here
have, yeah.
with Paulius.
I wonder if it comes with the territory of that car, because Simon Perry's a showman.
He is. Maybe it's written on the inside of the dash.
Yeah, it's a disclaimer. Be a showman
or get out. So 680 horsepower, definitely looked it out there too. The whole of Mondello just disappearing in a cloud of smoke. Will Paulius improve on his first run? He did a good first run though, if I remember correctly. He did, and he does. He goes into 7th position with an 80.3. Impressive stuff from Paulius there. Now let's see if we've got Shane Reedy, tyre fitter from County Clare, 380 horsepower. Caldwell though, and Boyce and Fury
And Reedy currently
all in the 80s now. It looks like a pro qualifying board.
That's
there. Insane.
unbelievable.
Let's see, here we go, Shane Reedy. What are the pros going to do tomorrow if they can't, like 90s, very high on this track. Look at Shane Reedy coming in. That's technically nice now. Yes, out to that clipping zone 3. Doesn't have the huge horsepower in this SR20 powered car, but it's good line driving so far, but a little shy of the second clipping zone there.
Just lacking the little bit of speed there to get out there, maybe in the wheel speed, but gets it back. Good line onto the wall there, and he's going to sacrifice the line through 8. But you know what? Good commitment there from Shane Reedy. Very, very good line driving.
Very good driving, and from my humble opinion, I think he's done enough there.
Yeah, I think
he's done enough to get himself into the battles, and he's looking strong, looking good, and he always looks in control of the car.
Yes.
Which, you know, he's not on the edge, which sometimes we quite like to watch, but there's another style there where you're like, he's just getting the job done time after time. So
yeah.
I think that might improve on his first. But then what do I know?
So one more driver left, Dave.
Yeah, does improve on his first. In the 19th position with a 70.7 for Shane Reedy. Not a bad job at all.
So final driver of our pro and qualifying left, and that is John Paul Devlin.
Yeah, John Paul Devlin had a little bit of understeer, if I remember, on the first run. Oh, sorry, conservative run.
Conservative run, yeah.
Just a little bit straight on entry. He's going wide here.
Very wide.
And
He's
he
dropping
kills the
wheels.
cone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first cone down of the day. And gets back on it, but that was a big error.
Yeah, I mean, very, very low score.
And see how hard it is to get back into the flow of the track once you've made that error. You kind of just, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough to just get back into the rhythm because it's all muscle memory. It's
you've
all
lost
sort of
the
a rhythm.
momentum. You've lost all the speed that you was carrying, so it kind of.
Yeah, so he does a good job of getting around. I don't think it's going to improve on his first, but he had a pretty okay first. Well, it was a 47, so yeah, he probably would need a little bit more. He probably knows it himself.
Yeah.
Probably said, look, I got to go for clip 3. That's the one that's going to score me the high points. Risk reward though drops in. Yeah, it's
a 0.
It's a 0 from the judges. Yeah, 0 from the judges. Lack of drift on that, and doesn't improve on his first score, so he stays outside the top 32.
So that is it, Dave. That rounds off our Pro-Am qualifying session.
Is that's done? It's finished?
That's it.
Wow, I was enjoying that. I thought there was, see,
Dave wants more. Bring him out. Give him another run.
Rallycross car and see how they get on. See if they can score. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break from our live stream. We're going to be basically handing over Mondello Park to the Rallycross Championship to basically see what that's all about. I'm staying right where I am, Ian, because I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys do. And we're moving some stuff around on the track. Never been done before. Drifting and Rallycross in the same venue at the same time. May never be done again after this weekend, but let's see how it goes. There you go. You can see your scoreboard at home. We'll show you that in first position, Ryan Caldwell with 90.3. Second position, Jordan Boyce. Third for Terence Fury. Fourth, Graham Holden. Fifth for Lee Scott. Sixth, Neil Dunn. Seventh is Paulius Judicious from the IADC. Eighth for Michael Muckian. 9 more IADC drivers. Lee McFadden. 10th position is Dean Crozier. Moving along, David Garvey into 11th position. Strong run from him. Harry Kerr, the 14-year-old, in 12th position. All the Rotaries fans. Alan O'Neill, 13th position. Martin Green into 14th position. Sean Watt, 15th. Sam Hamilton in 16th position. Kenny Mulligan in 17th. Shay Rogers in 18th position. 19th for Shane Reedy. Shane Mackin in 20th position. Handy Keys in 21st. Dylan Garvey, IADC champion, in 22nd. David Dunn in 23rd position. 24th for Trevor McInerney. 25th position, Ross Kenny. 26th for France O'Shea. 27th for Paul Stryker. 28th for Michael Purcell. 29th for Keith Bart O'Shea. 30th position for Robin Neeson. And making up those last 2 spots, Nigel Moody creeping in on the last run. And Ty Clark in that F20C Corolla rounds out our top 32. Damien Short just not making the cut, and that was the cutoff. We are back live from half 3. Battles, cars, crashes, rallycross, walls, speed, anger, jokes, puns, and me and Ian. Join us at half 3 for the second half of all the action here at IDC round 1. We are back then. Until then, take a chill. We're going to be... Oh, you know what? You got 2 hours. Get to Mondello.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.